President Mu, Lin Xiaojun pushed the bouquet away and called out to Mu Changza with suspicion. Mu Changza looked at her with intense dark eyes, then handed the bouquet to her again, commanding in a deep voice, "Take it." His tone made Lin Xiaojun both amused and exasperated. Instead of accepting the bouquet, she pushed it away once more and asked Mu Changza, "Mr. Mu, what do you mean by this? I won't accept this bouquet for no reason, I confess to you." Mu Changzi spoke with a hint of grievance, as if his confession had made it only natural for him to send flowers to Lin Xiaojun, and she couldn't possibly refuse his bouquet. Lin Xiaojun opened her mouth, wanting to say something, but she didn't know what to say. She was usually eloquent, but facing Mu Changzi, she suddenly felt as if her tongue had been cut off. She couldn't speak at all. "Lin Xiaojun, I confess to you, I want to pursue you. Isn't sending flowers every day just part of pursuing a woman?" Mu Changza even retorted to Lin Xiaojun at the end. Did he use the wrong method to pursue his wife? Lately, every night when he returned home, he forced himself to watch those romantic soap operas or read novels. Though he genuinely couldn't get into the novels, he could only manage to watch a bit of the TV shows. Watching the men in those shows chase after their wives, they often sent flowers, cars, jewelry, skincare products. Basically, they just kept giving and giving. Mu Changza knew Lin Xiaojun very well. After all, she had been his secretary for several years. She wasn't the kind of woman who was greedy for money. What she loved most was food, a true foodie through and through. Giving her a car, she would absolutely refuse it. As for jewelry and skincare products, she definitely wouldn't accept them now, especially since she hasn't yet agreed to be his girlfriend. Although Mu Changza had no experience in love, he still understood that after his confession, Lin Xiaojun hadn't accepted his feelings. The two are still in a superior-subordinate relationship. Therefore, Mu Changzi decided to start by sending flowers. He asked the florist to arrange a bouquet within the price range of 200 to 300 yuan, not too expensive, so that Lin Xiaojun would accept it. Once she gradually accepts him, he will give her money, followed by jewelry and other more valuable gifts. After all, he has made up his mind about Lin Xiaojun and will not change his choice. Lin Xiaojun is also very suitable for him. He is aloof, speaks little, and is very particular in both life and work. Most girls can't stand his bad temper, but Lin Xiaojun can. Being with Lin Xiaojun makes Mu Changza feel happy, relaxed, and at ease. There's no need to worry that she is approaching him for his status or position. Out of all the secretaries he has had, Lin Xiaojun is the only one who has never had any designs on him. On the contrary, he had to pursue her. Mu Changza handed the bouquet over once again, his dark, intense eyes fixed on Lin Xiaojun's delicate features. When his gaze fell upon her rosy lips, it deepened with intensity. He really wanted to taste whether her lips were soft, but he didn't dare to touch them just yet. Confessing his feelings to her had taken all his courage, and at the time, he was afraid she wouldn't accept his affection and would even avoid him. Fortunately, she is not the type to run away from her feelings. Mu Changza breathed a sigh of relief. The deeper the love, the greater the fear of losing it. He never dared to confess his feelings, afraid that doing so would lead to losing her. "If you don't accept this bouquet, I'll bring you two next time. If you still don't accept them, I'll double the number each time until you're willing to take them," Lin Xiaojun said with amusement. "President Mu, you're being forceful." However, she still took the bouquet and lowered her head to smell the fragrance of the flowers. "Do you like it?" "I like the flowers." Mu Changza pursed his lips, paused for a moment, and then asked her, "But you don't like the person who gave them, Mr. Mu?" "It's work time. Let's stick to business matters." Mu Changza pursed his lips again. "All right, you get busy. I'm heading in." With that, he made his way toward his office. Lin Xiaojun remembered the matter she needed to verify and quickly followed him. She set down the bouquet, took a few steps, then turned back to pick it up again. After all, that would put the iceberg in a better mood. Ask him anything, and if he can say it, he will tell her. If he's in a bad mood, asking him one more question will make him look at you coldly with those dark, deep eyes. He won't say a word, just stare at you coldly, making you increasingly uncomfortable until you become afraid and eventually flee in panic. President Mu, President Mu. When Lin Xiaojun had a request for Mu Changza, the smile on her face was as bright as the midday sun. In Mu Changza's eyes, her smile was a beam of light in his life, shining into his heart and slowly melting him. She always smiles so sweetly. making him unknowingly fall for her charming smile, seeing Lin Xiaojun enter with the bouquet. Mu Changze sat down at his desk and asked, "What's the matter? Are you returning the bouquet to me? I never take back what I've given. If you don't want it, just throw it in the trash. The bouquet you gave me, Mr. Mu, I like it very much. I won't return it to you. It's just that the flowers are so beautiful. I adore them and couldn't bear to put them down, so I brought them in with me." Mu Changze looked at her, the corners of his mouth lifting slightly before quickly returning to his usual expression. He said calmly, "Do you need my help with something?" "Nothing much. I just want to ask you something, and I hope President Mu can answer me truthfully. If President Mu lies to me, it would make me think that President Mu has character issues, that he likes to deceive people, especially girls." Mu Changze's expression turned serious. "Go ahead and ask. I'll tell you everything I know." Lin Xiaojun walked over to the opposite side of him, casually placing the bouquet aside. She leaned halfway over the desk, resting her hands on it, her beautiful eyes sparkling as she asked in a low voice, "President Mu, is your older brother, the CEO of our headquarters, actually my best friend Xu Yuqing's flash marriage husband?" Yuqing told me that her husband has been asking her lately whether she would believe him if he said he was the eldest son of the wealthy Mu family. I already felt something was off, but after discussing it with Yuqing, we still couldn't quite piece it together. You are the third young master of the wealthiest family. That's an indisputable fact, everyone knows it. How could you not recognize your own eldest brother? Tell me, is Yuqing's husband just an ordinary construction worker, or is he the CEO of our headquarters? Mu Changze, how should he answer this question? Tell the truth. If he tells the truth, will his eldest brother blame him? If you don't tell the truth, by the time the eldest brother confesses everything to his wife, Lin Xiaojun will also find out the truth. She will then think he is the eldest brother's accomplice, helping to deceive her together. He is currently in the stage of trying to win his wife back, making Lin Xiaojun think he likes to deceive people. Well, that's not good at all. Mr. Mu, tell me the truth. Is Weiqing's husband really your eldest brother? You often see your eldest brother, and you've also met Weiqing's husband several times. Are they the same person? Just say something. Chapter 327. The answer. Xiaojun, Mu Changze said in a low voice, "This is your friend and her husband's private matter. It's not appropriate for us to interfere too much," Lin Xiaojun said. "I'm not interfering, I'm just asking you to confirm something. Is Yuqing's husband the same person as your older brother?" She stared at Mu Changze. "Mr. Mu, your reaction tells me that Yuqing's husband is indeed the same person as your older brother, isn't he?" After a moment of silence, Mu Changze said, "I didn't say anything. Is it really the same person? How could it be the same person? Your eldest brother is the young master of your family, the head of your household, and the president of our company's headquarters. How could he become a construction worker and even marry Yuqing? By the way, it was Yuqing who mistook him for someone else. She went on a blind date, and outside the hotel, someone bumped into her and broke her glasses. She's extremely nearsighted. Without her glasses, she wouldn't even recognize her own mother if they passed each other face to face. That's how she mistook the person and ended up in a flash marriage. Was the president in the coffee shop on the first floor of the hotel that day? Yuqing told me her blind date that day was named Mu Changfeng. Same pronunciation, different characters. Although Mu Changze did not admit it, his expression gave Lin Xiaojun the answer. Recalling the process of her friend's flash marriage, she understood everything. As for why the president has been hiding his identity, it's probably to test and observe Yuqing. Lin Xiaojun thought about the rumors regarding the president and found it unbelievable. The president has always disliked young women getting close to him, so how could he agree to a flash marriage with Yuqing? After marriage, he quickly adapted to the role of a husband, while Yuqing, on the other hand, was slow to get into the role. As a witness to the journey of Yuqing and her husband, Lin Xiaojun knew very well that Mu Changfeng fell in love with Yuqing first. Love at first sight. Mu Changze murmured a few words. Lin Xiaojun immediately laughed. I really didn't expect that. She had also discussed the gossip about the eldest son of the Mu family with Yuqing. Yuqing had told her that whoever married the eldest son of the Mu family would be unlucky, saying that a man like him would have many admirers, and the woman who married him would have to face countless rivals in love. Little did she expect that Yuqing herself would be that unlucky woman. Lin Xiaojun didn't know how many admirers the eldest son of the Mu family had, but she knew that Zhuang Xini was obsessed with marrying him and becoming the eldest daughter-in-law of the Mu family. If Zhuang Xini found out that Yuqing was actually the eldest daughter-in-law of the Mu family, she would probably be furious. Ha ha ha, Lin Xiaojun couldn't help but laugh as she imagined Zhuang Xini's shock, envy, and jealousy upon learning the truth. After laughing a few times, she quickly stopped, forgot. She is in the office of the iceberg now and cannot laugh too unrestrainedly. Xiaojun, Mu Changza said seriously, it's good that you know about this matter. But don't mention it in front of your friend. Their private affairs as a couple can be handled by themselves. We outsiders should just observe, Lin Xiaojun immediately said with a conflicted expression. I know Yuqing was deceived and suffered so much, but if I don't tell her, I'll feel like I've let her down. President Mu, when does your eldest brother plan to confess to Yuqing? Wait, no, the president has already confessed, but Yuqing doesn't believe it. It's all because the president's acting was too convincing, Mu Changza. Yuqing was unaware of all this. After her friend hung up, she finished her breakfast and once again immersed herself in her orchard. Just half an hour into her work, the several wolfhounds kept in the orchard began frantically dashing toward the main gate. Barking incessantly as they ran, Jiyu Lai, along with Qin Fan and his sister, as well as Wei Wei, chased after the wolfhounds. In Yuqing's orchard, even Jiyu Lai, who was always more composed than his peers, revealed the youthful playfulness appropriate for his age, playing and frolicking with the little ones. A motorcycle led a luxury car to the orchard gate and came to a stop. The middle-aged man on the motorcycle pointed at the orchard and said to the woman in the luxury car, Hey, miss, this is Yuqing's orchard. The dogs are barking. Give me the money, and I'll hurry off. The guard dogs in Yuqing's orchard are really fierce. Every time he passed by here, he was terrified that those guard dogs would rush out and knock him down. The woman in the luxury car reached for her Hermes bag from the passenger seat, took out an exquisite wallet, casually pulled out a few hundred yuan, rolled down the window, and handed the money to the man on the motorcycle. After receiving the payment for guiding the way, the man thanked the woman and quickly rode off on his motorcycle. The woman in the luxury car did not get out. She heard the barking getting closer and was afraid that stepping out would provoke an attack from the wolfhounds. She used to enjoy keeping pet dogs, but they were always gentle ones, not fierce wolfhounds. What was that woman, Shu Yuqing, doing raising wolfhounds? They're so ferocious. If they hurt someone, she'd be in for a huge compensation payout. Soon, several wolfhounds came into her view, but they did not approach, because several wolfhounds were followed by a few children. The leading child, though still bearing a hint of childishness, had a face as calm as water and eyes as sharp as lightning, coldly staring at her. It was that child who called the wolfhounds to a halt, so the dogs only stood at the door, barking incessantly at her. The woman in the car was none other than Anu. Having learned about Shu Yuqing's existence from Zhuang Xini, through analysis, she concluded that Shu Yuqing was Mu Changfeng's wife. Anu arrived at Wangyou village without alerting anyone. She came alone, found someone to guide her, and went directly to Shu Yuqing's orchard. When she saw Qin Fan and his sister in the car, she ignored her fear of the several wolfhounds and immediately pushed the car door open to get out. Several wolfhounds pounced on her as she stepped out of the car. Don't go over there. Ah, Anu screamed in fright. Come back. A loud shout made the several wolfhounds that had pounced in front of Anu turn their heads and trot back to the man who had just emerged. He was the one specifically responsible for taking care of the wolfhounds. Jiyu Lai and the others were also startled. Jiyu Lai had just tried to call off the wolfhounds, but they wouldn't listen to him, although he had become quite familiar with the wolfhounds over the past few days. After all, it was only a bond of 2 or 3 days. When a stranger tried to enter the orchard and the wolfhounds fiercely pounced on Anu, Jiyu Lai couldn't call them back. Anu was terrified, her face pale with fear. Seeing the man pat the heads of the wolfhounds, they immediately lay down nearby, losing their earlier ferocity. But Anu still didn't dare to approach. She just watched Qin Fan and Qin Yu with excitement. It's those 2 children. They are the 2 children she saw last time. And they really look a lot like Tianyu. Anu dares to say that these 2 children are the ones she carried for 10 months and gave birth to. They are her own flesh and blood. They've grown so big. The daughter looks especially like Tianyu. How adorable. Anya was so excited that she wanted to say something. but her throat felt as if it were blocked, and she couldn't utter a word. Chapter 328, The Truth Can No Longer Be Hidden. Excuse me, who are you looking for? Jiu Lai asked. He followed Anyu's gaze to Qin Fan and Qinyu, then picked up Qinyu and asked Anyu defensively. The worker in charge of taking care of the wolfhound also asked Anyu, Excuse me, who are you looking for, or are you here to buy some fruit? Anyu came back to her senses, took off her sunglasses, wiped her eyes to brush away the tears of excitement, and quickly replied, I'm here to find Shu Yuqing. Is Shu Yuqing here? She still didn't dare to say that she was the biological mother of the two children. May I ask who you are? Jiu Lai always felt that this woman had ill intentions. The way the other person looked at Fan Fan and Yaya seemed a bit unusual. My surname is An, and I'm a good friend of Mu Changfeng. If you tell Shu Yuqing this, she should have heard of me and will come out to see me. Jiu Lai gave a nod and said to Anyu, Wait here for a moment, I'll go in and let Aunt Shu know, then. He said to the three children, Wei Wei, Yaya, Fan Fan, let's go inside. Anyu wanted Jiu Lai to keep Qin Fan and his sister here, but she swallowed the words that were on the tip of her tongue. The children, she had already seen them, without needing to verify with anyone. She dared to say that these two children were her son and daughter. Now, she needed to confirm with Shu Yuqing whether Shu Yuqing was Mu Changfeng's wife. Anyu hopes not. How could a man as outstanding as Mu Changfeng marry a country bumpkin? He even protects her so well, not letting the media disturb Shu Yuqing. If Mu Changfeng had married a daughter from a prestigious family, Anyu could have accepted it. But marrying a country bumpkin, Anyu can't even accept losing to her. Jiu Lai held Yaya in his arms, held Fan Fan's hand, and called Wei Wei to go back to the orchard together. Several wolfhounds and that man were still watching Anyu at the door. Anyu's gaze followed the children until they were out of sight, and only then did she reluctantly withdraw her gaze. Meanwhile, at the Damu group, in the conference room on the top floor, Mu Changfeng was in a meeting when Ouyang Wei, who was sitting closest to him, suddenly picked up his phone from the table. During meetings, everyone, including Mu Changfeng, would set their phones to silent mode. However, both Mu Changfeng and Ouyang Wei kept their phones on the table, even on silent. They could quickly notice if someone called. Ouyang Wei answered the call. He remained silent, waiting for the person on the other end to speak. After the caller finished, he hung up, stood up, and walked over to Mu Changfeng. Leaning in close, he whispered, Changfeng, Anyu has gone to see the CEO's wife. She has arrived at Wangnyo village and is currently at the entrance of the CEO's wife's orchard. Upon hearing this, Mu Changfeng's expression darkened. Anyu going to find Yuqing is definitely not a good thing. You preside over the meeting, I'll be back right away. Unable to set his mind at ease, Mu Changfeng whispered a few instructions to Ouyang Wei, then stood up, pushed back his chair, and hurriedly left the conference room under the astonished gazes of all the senior executives. Mu Changfeng left in a hurry, without even changing his clothes, and drove the car that Yuqing had given him. Rushing back, Auntie Shu, Mom, Jiu Lai. Holding Yaya, called out for Shu Yuqing as he walked. Yuqing, who had just gone inside to drink a cup of warm water, heard the children calling out incessantly and thought something had happened, so she quickly ran out of the house. Even the old lady came out. Jiu Lai, what's wrong? What happened? Who's here? What about those wolfhounds? Why didn't they come back with you? Yuqing, seeing that the children were safe, felt relieved and asked about the wolfhounds. Could it be that the wolfhounds bit someone? Jiu Lai, did the wolf dog bite someone? No, the wolf dog didn't bite anyone. After putting down Yaya, Jiu Lai said to Shu Yuqing, Aunt Shu, there's a woman outside who says her surname is An and that she's Uncle Changfeng's good friend. She wants to see you. I think she has ill intentions. She keeps staring at Fan Fan and Yaya, and her gaze is really frightening. Qin Fan nodded in agreement and said, Mom, Brother Jiu Lai is telling the truth. That woman is so scary. The way she looks at people is terrifying. A woman surnamed An. Yuqing immediately thought of the biological mother of the two children. Has she already found her way here so quickly? I'll go out and take a look. Yuqing turned back into the house, put down the water cup, then came out again and said to the old lady, Grandma, I'll go out and take a look. Ching. The old lady hesitated, as if wanting to say something but holding back, but when Yuqing asked her, she said again, Go out and see who it is. How can they say they're Changfeng's friend? Changfeng doesn't have any female friends. Yuqing looked at the two children, thinking that they didn't want to see their mother right now, so she eventually went out alone to meet Anue. After Yuqing walked away, Qin Fan finally reacted. He let out an ah and, as everyone looked at him, said, "I know who that aunt is." "Who is it?" Wei Wei asked curiously. Qin Fan said to his sister, "Yeah. Dad told us that our biological mother's surname is An. That lady might be our biological mother." Upon hearing this, Qin Yu was stunned. Jiu Lai and Wei Wei also exchanged glances. Jiu Lai knew that the siblings were not the biological children of the Mu family, but the Qin family had not treated them well, and their biological mother was missing. He had thought that, like him, the siblings would never get to see their biological father, or mother, again. Unexpectedly, not long after he met his biological father, the biological mother of the two siblings also appeared, without paying attention to the children's reactions. The old lady quickly took out her phone and called her eldest grandson. When Ma Changfeng answered, she said, "Changfeng, your paper might be about to turn to ashes. Anue has come to find Yuqing." Ma Changfeng, while driving, replied, "Grandma, I'm on my way back. You already know." When did Anue come back? She had no idea. Mu Changfeng didn't tell her either. Judging by the children's reactions, it seemed the two children also knew about Anue's return. That rascal Mu Changfeng. Such a big matter and he didn't even tell her. "I've been back for a few days. She came looking for me, wanting to see the two children. I asked the children what they thought, and for now, they don't want to see Anu." The old lady asked him in a low voice, "You haven't confessed to Yuqing." "I did confess, but Yuqing doesn't believe it." The old lady, "Grandma, I'm driving. Let's talk when I get back." "Alright, drive carefully. No need to rush. Rushing won't help anyway. Even if you flew back in a plane right now, you couldn't stop these two women from meeting." The elderly lady reminded her grandson to be safe. Mu Changfeng grunted in agreement and hung up the phone. He also told himself not to worry. He had already confessed to Yuqing, telling her that he was the eldest son of the Mu family, but Yuqing didn't believe him. However, from the speed of Ma Changfeng's car, it was clear that he was actually very anxious and nervous, wishing he could become Sun Wukong and somersault back to Yuqing's side in an instant. Chapter 329, leaving Changfeng. As Yuqing walked out of the orchard, she saw Anu's luxury car. "Boss, this young lady says she wants to see you." The worker who was taking care of the wolf dogs saw Yuqing come out. He stood up from his crouching position and spoke to her. Yuqing nodded and said to him, "Take them back inside. They might scare Miss and if they stay here." The worker grunted in agreement and called the wolf dogs to go back in. Several wolfhounds seemed to understand his words. As soon as he called out, they stood up and followed the worker back into the orchard. Only after the wolfhounds were taken away did Anu dare to get out of the car. As soon as she got out of the car, she sized up Yuqing. Yuqing also sized her up. "Are you Miss Anu? Have we met before?" Yuqing had a good memory. After seeing Anu, she recalled having met her once before. Anu had told her at the time that she was a talent scout, wanting to recruit two children to become child stars. Clearly, it was a lie to deceive her. Anu had indeed seen the two children. Changfeng mentioned that the two children look very much like their biological father. It's no surprise that Anue suspected they were her children based on their appearance. "I've met them once." After sizing up Yuqing, Anue's eyes showed disdain. With looks like Yuqing's, how could she possibly be worthy of Changfeng? She immediately accused Yuqing of deceiving her, saying, "You lied to me, claiming the two children were yours. Those children are mine. I am their biological mother." Yuqing said, "I didn't know you were the biological mother of the two children at the time. In the eyes of me and the children, you were just a stranger. It's only natural for me to be cautious when a stranger asks about my children. How was I supposed to know if you were a kidnapper or not? How did Miss An find this place?" Anu replied coldly, "Don't worry about how I found this place. Right now, I just want to confirm one thing with you." "What's the matter?" Anu took out her phone and opened the photo album. Her album contained photos from her wedding day, including group photos with many friends and relatives. Only in these group photos was Mu Changfeng present. After finding the photo with Mu Changfeng, she pointed at him and asked Yuqing, "Do you know this man?" Yuqing leaned in for a closer look and said, "Of course I do. He's my husband. This was taken at your wedding." "Right, your wedding venue was so beautifully decorated, so romantic." and so luxurious. Take a closer look. Is this man really your husband? And Yu asked persistently. She asked Yuqing to take a closer look. Yuqing said, Missen, I don't need to look again. How could I not recognize my own man? I'm wearing glasses now, and I can see clearly. That's my husband, Mu Changfeng. I heard from him that your late husband, and he grew up together as friends. Yuqing had no doubt about Anyu's identity. If it was an accident, it was because Anyu was driving a luxury car. It seems the An family or the Qin family is quite well off. Anyu's face instantly turned grim, and the look she gave Yuqing was a glare. Yuqing was baffled by her glare and frowned as she asked, Missen, what's with that look? If you want to see the two children, Changfeng and I have asked for their opinion, and they don't want to see you for now, but you should have seen them just now. Glaring at me won't help. The child doesn't want to see you for now, and we respect the child's wishes. Why Anyu abandoned the child for years without any concern? Yuqing didn't ask, nor did she have the right to question Anyu, but now the child calls her mom, and the children still don't want to see Anyu, so she respects the children's wishes. Even if Anyu resents her for it, she still prioritizes the children's wishes. Yuqing can also understand how the two children feel. The children must be looking forward to meeting their biological mother, but the suddenness of it all makes it hard for them to accept right away. If a biological mother and child have never spent time together, they are no different from strangers. I gave birth to these children. No matter how long it's been since I last saw them, it doesn't change the fact that I am their biological mother. Anyu said coldly, Shu Yuqing, do you know what kind of person Changfeng is? How dare you marry him? You really have no shame and lack self-awareness. Yuqing frowned, her tone turning displeased. She was the type of person who would return tenfold the respect she received from others. Anyu had first given her a cold look and then glared at her, so she saw no reason to keep trying to win her favor. She replied coldly, I know exactly what kind of person my husband is. How is marrying him shameless? Before we got our marriage certificate, he was unmarried, and I was single. It was a mutual decision. Anyu sneered, Shu Yuqing, are you really clueless or just pretending? Who do you think Changfeng is? He's not some construction worker. He's the eldest son of the wealthy Mu family, a prodigy among men, a dragon among mortals. You, a country bumpkin, plain-looking and unrefined, aren't even worthy of tying his shoelaces. How dare you marry Changfeng? Tell me, how did you get him to agree to marry you? Did you shamelessly crawl into his bed and force him to take responsibility? Otherwise, why would he ever marry you? Yuqing replied coldly, Missen, I conduct myself with integrity and have never stooped to such disgraceful behavior. How Changfeng and I got our marriage certificate is none of your business. Changfeng is the eldest son of the Mu family. I knew his name was the same as the Mu family's eldest son, and you could tell that Yuqing didn't seem to be pretending. You really don't know that Changfeng is the eldest son of the wealthiest family. You know his name is the same as the eldest son of the Mu family, and you didn't suspect anything at all. Yuqing, I've never met the eldest son of the wealthiest family. There are plenty of people in the world with the same name. I married him for who he is, not for his family background. As long as he is a good person, what does his status matter? And you, after a long pause, she said, Shu Yuqing, whether you believe it or not, Changfeng is the eldest son of the wealthiest family. You are not worthy of him. Divorce him immediately, leave him, and stay far away from him, Yuqing said coldly. Even if Changfeng is the eldest son of the wealthiest family, so what? I'm not worthy of him. Whether I'm worthy or not isn't for Missen to decide. The fact that my Changfeng was willing to marry me proves that, in his eyes, I am worthy of him. My in-laws have never said that I'm not good enough for him. May I ask, Missen, what right do you have to tell me to divorce Changfeng? What gives you the authority to make me leave him? Yuqing had indeed said before that if Ma Changfeng deceived her too much, she would divorce him. But whether to divorce or not is a matter between her and Changfeng. What does it have to do with Anyu? What right does Anyu have to tell her to divorce Changfeng? She has met all of her in-laws, and neither her parents-in-law have ever said she wasn't good enough for Changfeng. Even if Anyu has known Changfeng since childhood and grew up with him, at best, she's just his childhood playmate. What right does she have to interfere in her and Changfeng's matters? Chapter 330. Anyu's face turned livid as she was confronted by Yuqing. After a moment, she took out a pre-prepared check from her bag and handed it to Yuqing. This is 1 million, Miss Xu, take this million and divorce Changfeng. I heard that Miss Xu still has a loan of over 1 million. With this million, you can use it to pay off your debt, so you won't owe so much anymore, Yuqing. You want me to sell my husband? Changfeng is a person, not an object. He can't be measured by money. Just 1 million and you think she would sell her husband? As if she's never seen 1 million before. Her debts alone are more than 1 million. My parents have been pressuring me to get married so much that my head is spinning. I finally managed to marry a husband I actually like, and now you're telling me to divorce him. If I get divorced, my parents will just start pressuring me all over again. And you took out another check and said coldly, I'll add another million, so you'll have 2 million. With 2 million, not only can you pay off all your debts, but you'll even have some left over. You can use that money to find another man to marry. It's easy. Yuqing did not take the 2 checks and continued, Missen, I've said it before, Changfeng is a person, not an object. You can't measure him with money. 2 million, Shu Yuqing. Just tell me how much money you want to leave Changfeng. I'm warning you, don't push your luck. Even if you don't leave him now, you'll have to sooner or later. His status and position are clear. You're not the kind of woman who deserves him. You and he are from 2 different worlds. You don't belong in that circle, and even if you force your way in, they won't accept you, Yuqing said with amusement. I find it strange. Missen, what business is it of yours that I'm with Changfeng? Even if Changfeng is the eldest son of the wealthiest family, he doesn't look down on me. My mother-in-law hasn't even come to me with a check to ask me to leave him, so why are you in such a hurry? You and Changfeng, no way. According to Changfeng, and you is Qin Tianyu's wife, and Qin Tianyu is Changfeng's childhood friend. There's no way he would have feelings for an you. A friend's wife is not to be trifled with. Yuqing still believed that Changfeng would never do something like falling for his childhood friend's wife. However, it doesn't mean an you wouldn't like Changfeng. Mu Changfeng is so good-looking. If he really is the eldest son of the wealthiest family, there would be plenty of women who admire him. It's quite possible that an you likes Changfeng. My 2 children call Changfeng dad, and they were born by me, so they call me mom. Now that I'm back, it's a reunion of our family of 4, and you did not directly answer Yuqing. But her words gave Yuqing the answer. She had liked Mu Changfeng for a long time. Before, she suppressed her feelings. After marrying Qin Tianyu, she thought she could let go of her feelings for Changfeng. But she couldn't. Even after leaving for a foreign land for 4 years and never contacting him, she still couldn't forget Mu Changfeng. Perhaps it's also a sense of unwillingness. She felt that she had lost too much and even suffered humiliation for the sake of loving Changfeng. She couldn't just let it go. She had to return and tell Mu Changfeng that the one she truly loved was him. Mu Changfeng had adopted her child. If she and Mu Changfeng became husband and wife, the 2 children would have a complete family. He would be the father, and she would be the mother. Even if the child has no blood relation with Changfeng, the children have been calling him dad for several years. Shu Yuqing, tell me, how much money do you want to leave Changfeng? An Yu gritted her teeth and took out the remaining 3 checks from her bag. She had prepared 5 million for Yuqing to make her leave Changfeng. For ordinary people, 5 million is an astronomical figure. Like Shu Yuqing, she still owes a loan to the bank. If she gives Shu Yuqing 5 million, Shu Yuqing will definitely be tempted, take the money, and divorce Changfeng. 5 million, Shu Yuqing, that's the most I can offer. I can only give you 5 million. 5 million is an amount many people can't earn in a lifetime. For ordinary people like you, it's an astronomical figure. Shu Yuqing glanced at the 5 million twice. Should I sell my husband for 5 million? She took the money and sold Mu Changfeng. Since his legs are his own, if he comes back on his own, she could sell him again and make another 5 million. She's not a greedy person. You can't just sell your husband for 5 million. Yuqing turned her face away, not looking at the 5 million, and even tucked both hands into her pockets to prevent them from disobeying her brain's command and reaching out to take the money. Missen, if you've said all you need to say, please leave immediately. I will not sell my husband. If you want me and Changfeng to divorce, fine. Go find Changfeng and have him come to me to ask for a divorce. As long as Changfeng tells me he doesn't want to be with me anymore and wants a divorce, I will divorce him immediately, without any hesitation. That's right, she had almost forgotten that she and Changfeng had signed an agreement. If she initiated the divorce, she would have to pay Changfeng compensation for her lost youth, with the amount determined by him. Even if she were willing to sell out Changfeng and accept and use 5 million, she wouldn't be able to spend it, because as soon as she brought up divorce, Changfeng would demand that she pay him the 5 million, and he might even ask for more. Not only would she fail to make any money, but she would also end up losing money and her husband in the process. What a losing business this is. Without Ma Changfeng, her parents are pushing her to get married again, and she's going to be driven crazy by their nagging. She won't be able to make money as peacefully as she does now. Xu Yuqing, do you think 5 million isn't enough? You're just being greedy and trying to bite off more than you can chew. Let me tell you, if you don't take this money now, you won't get a single cent later. Don't think you can take any of Changfeng's assets, they're his premarital property. And you won't get a share. It's only because you've taken care of my children for a while that I'm willing to give you 5 million as compensation. If you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit, then don't blame me for being harsh with you in the future. You don't even know how to make money when it's right in front of you. And you said confidently, Changfeng and I grew up together. How long have you been married to him? Just a few months. Can you compare to me? Can you compete with me? My family is a wealthy and influential one, a perfect match for the Mu family. What is your Xu family? Not even as good as my family. Yuqing was both angered and amused by Anu's words. With a cold expression, she said, Missen, I've made it very clear. As long as you can get Changfeng to divorce me, I'll leave him immediately. Otherwise, no one can make me divorce him. If you're done talking, please leave. I don't have time to waste on idle chatter with you. Missen, waving 5 million in front of her, yet she couldn't take it. She was furious, and her husband, Mu Changfeng, actually deceived her so cruelly. He had been lying to her for such a long time. The eldest son of the wealthiest family. Back then, she really had no idea what kind of luck she had. Mistaking the person she was supposed to meet, she ended up in a flash marriage with the eldest son of the richest family. Chapter 331. Feeling very guilty, Yuqing turned around to leave after speaking. Not wanting to continue the argument with Anue, Xu Yuqing, you can't leave, I haven't finished what I was saying. Anu reached out and grabbed Yuqing, preventing her from leaving. If Yuqing entered the orchard, she wouldn't dare go in herself, afraid of those few wolfhounds. A car sped over. It quickly came to a stop behind Anu's luxury car. Mu Changfeng hurriedly jumped out of the car, strode over, slapped Anu's hand away, then pulled Yuqing over and placed her behind him. He stood protectively in front of Yuqing, glaring coldly at Anu. He said coldly, Anu, what do you want to do to my wife? Changfeng. Seeing Mu Changfeng arrive, Anu was a bit flustered, but noticing Mu Changfeng's protectiveness towards Yuqing, she couldn't help but feel jealous. Changfeng. I didn't do anything to Miss Xu, I just wanted to chat with her. When she said she was busy, I instinctively tried to stop her. I didn't mean anything by it, although she was jealous of Yuqing. Anu didn't dare to show her envy at that moment. Besides, she really just wanted to hold Xu Yuqing back and had no other intentions. Mu Changfeng saw the checks in Anu's hand, and his expression changed drastically. Anu quickly reacted, stuffing the checks back into her bag and saying first, Changfeng, I have something to do, I have to go. Then, she turned and ran back to the car, driving away quickly. Yuqing watched Anu drive away. He sighed heavily. 5 million, gone. Mu Changfeng's face darkened. Anu gave Yuqing several checks. What sacrifice did she want Yuqing to make? What exactly did the two of them talk about? How did the topic of money come up? Ching, what did she say to you? Why did she give you 5 million? Mu Changfeng asked his wife. Yuqing looked up at him. Seeing him in a suit and tie, looking dashing and elegant, a rare handsome man, no wonder so many women liked him. She had once told her friend that whoever married the eldest son of the Mu family would be unlucky, because there were too many rivals in love, and it would be exhausting to fight them every day. Little did she know, she was the unlucky one. Reaching out, she tugged on Mu Changfeng's tie, a red and white tie. Who bought it for you? I don't remember buying you a tie like this. Is this suit new? You weren't wearing this when you went out today. Yuqing glanced at the car keys in Ma Changfeng's hand, then reached out and took them back. The car I gave you must have made you laugh your head off, right? Such a cheap car, how could the great young Master Mu possibly drive it? And it's only a down payment. At that, what kind of luxury car does the great young Master Mu drive? One that costs millions, or even tens of millions. Why not bring it back and let me see it? I'd love to get a glimpse. I've never seen a car worth tens of millions in my life. Yuqing even circled around Ma Changfeng a couple of times. After making 2 full rounds, she clicked her tongue and said, "Such a handsome man, and so rich too, and you only offered 5 million, that's way too cheap. For the great young Master Mu, that's practically a bargain price. If Anua offered 50 million, I would have been tempted long ago." Yuqing didn't admit that she was a little tempted by the 5 million. It was only because she remembered the agreement she had signed with Mu Changfeng that she didn't sell her husband. "Mu Changfeng, what does Anua mean by offering you 5 million? She wants me to sell my husband. Don't you think she's being a bit stingy? She's trying to buy the eldest son of the wealthiest family, and she only offers 5 million, treating me like a beggar." "Ching, Mu Changfeng called out softly, "You believe me now?" He had told her that he was the eldest son of the wealthiest family, but she hadn't believed him. Yuqing chuckled. I believe it. How could I not? If you weren't the eldest son of the wealthiest family, why wouldn't you offer me 5 million to divorce you and leave you?" "Mu Changfeng, you've kept this hidden so well. You've had me fooled completely. Your acting skills are so good, it's a shame you didn't go into acting. You'd definitely become a film emperor. I once suggested you become a celebrity and act, but you refused." "Oh, right, you're the eldest son of the wealthiest family. Someone so rich that money is all you have. There's no need for you to act to make money." Mu Changfeng's face darkened, and he growled, "Anua actually asked you to divorce me." He had thought that Anua's visit, aside from wanting to see the 2 children, was to expose his identity. Although he believed he had confessed to Yuqing, it was she who didn't believe him. In truth, he was still very guilty. After all, he had deceived Yuqing for so long, leading her around by the nose. "That's right, she said you're the eldest son of the wealthiest family, while I'm just a country bumpkin, unattractive and unworthy of a young master like you. She even said I wasn't fit to carry your shoes and told me to get lost. I finally found a man I like and managed to marry him, and now she wants me to get a divorce. Of course, I won't agree." Then she started pulling out checks. "Seriously, Changfeng, your childhood sweetheart, your white moonlight, is so stingy. At first, she only offered a check for 1 million. 1 million isn't even enough to pay off my bank loan. I refused the check, so she pulled out another 1 million, saying I'd have money left over after paying off the loan. She warned me not to be too greedy. She clearly had 5 million prepared, but she didn't just hand it all over at once. She told me to take the money and get lost." Mu Changfeng's face darkened like charcoal. He growled, "Anua is not my childhood sweetheart or my white moonlight. Yuqing, I've told you, I only love you. I only like you. You're the only woman for me. You're not ugly, you're good looking, the kind that grows on you. In my eyes, you're the most beautiful woman in the world. Whether you're a good match for me isn't for Anua to decide. I married you because I think you're right for me, and that's all that matters." Yuqing looked at him quietly. She stopped speaking, and Mu Changfeng became nervous and scared instead. The words she had just spoken were all laced with sarcasm. She was actually very angry, extremely angry. Remember, last time she misunderstood him and Fu Lingling, she was also very angry, and then she ignored him, left him behind, and ran to find Lin Xiaojun. That wasn't even the scariest part. What Mu Changfeng feared most was her retreating into her shell, showing him only superficial affection, closing off her heart and never letting him in again. "Ching, I'm sorry, I lied to you. At that time, you mistook me for someone working on the construction site. I happened to be going to the site for an inspection that day, so I changed my clothes, and you misidentified me. I thought you were quite interesting and brave, so I went along with it and got the marriage certificate with you. Ching, whether you believe it or not, I truly like you. I truly love you." Ma Changfeng took Yuqing's hand, sincerely apologizing repeatedly. Ching, I'm sorry. Chapter 332, Panicked and Scared. Yuqing shook off Ma Changfeng's hand. She didn't lose her temper with Mu Changfeng, nor did she scold him. She just said very calmly, "Mu Changfeng, don't follow me now. No matter where I go, don't follow me. And don't have anyone keep an eye on me. I need some time alone. The child is in the orchard. Since you're here, take care of the child first." After saying this, Yuqing turned and walked away. After a few steps, she stopped, thought for a moment, and then turned back toward the orchard. "Her car is parked in the orchard. Ching, right now. You don't need to explain to me, and you don't need to ask what I mean. Just let me have some quiet time." Mu Changfeng swallowed the words he wanted to say. He followed her in silence. Yuqing had never believed he was the eldest son of the wealthiest family. It wasn't until Anua came to her with millions of dollars that she finally believed he truly was the eldest son of the Mu family. For her, this must have been explosive news. She needed some time to calm down. I just hope she doesn't ask for a divorce. Yuqing walked to her car, unlocked it, opened the door, got in, and slammed the door shut without even glancing at Mu Changfeng before driving away. Dad, Dad, Qin Fan and Qin Yu jogged over. The elderly lady followed behind the two children with Jiu Lai and Wei Wei. Dad, the two young siblings ran up to their father. Mu Changfeng looked down at the two children, merely patting their heads, not picking them up as he usually did. His gaze followed Yuqing's car as it drove away. The elderly woman approached, also watching Yuqing's departing car, and asked with concern, "What's the situation? Does Qingqing know everything?" Mu Changfeng nodded with difficulty and said, "Yuqing now believes that I am the eldest young master. Her reaction makes me uneasy. She doesn't scold me or hit me, and she doesn't seem very angry either. Apart from her sarcastic remarks toward me, she hasn't done much else. She said she needs some time alone, and she doesn't want me to follow her, speak to her, or have anyone keep an eye on her, Grandma. I'm really anxious. I want to chase after her and explain myself. I already tried to explain why I hid my identity earlier, but I also know her temper. If she doesn't want me to follow her and I do, it will only make her angrier. We might even end up arguing." Mu Changfeng was extremely agitated. He is anxious, but he doesn't dare to follow her. Shu Yuqing needs some time alone to calm down. The old lady scolded him. "I told you long ago not to keep it a secret for so long, but you wouldn't listen. Now you're panicking and scared. You deserve it." Mu Changfeng, I told her a few times later, but she didn't believe what I said. Mu Changfeng also said rather aggrievedly, "She doesn't believe what I say, but she believes whatever Anu says." Remembering that the two children were present, Mu Changfeng said to Jiu Lai, "Jiu Lai, take them to play." Jiu Lai knew that Mu Changfeng's identity had been exposed, and as a child, he couldn't be of much help. All he could do was take the two children to play. "Yeah, Fan Fan, come on. Brother Guli will take you to play. Wei Wei, come along too." Guli called out to the children and led them away. Yaya and Fan Fan looked back repeatedly as they walked. The siblings also sensed that something serious had happened. But since their father didn't want them to know, they had no choice but to follow Brother Guli and stay out of the way. After the children had gone far, Mu Changfeng said to his grandmother, "I don't know what's gotten into Anu. She actually offered Qingqing a 5 million yuan check to divorce me. Since when does she have the right to meddle in my marriage? I used to let her off the hook for Tianyu's sake. No matter what she did, does she really think she has the right to interfere in my affairs?" Although he and Anu grew up together, once he understood the boundaries between men and women and realized Tianyu had feelings for her, he drew a clear line. In his eyes, Anu was merely his childhood friend's beloved, not a friend of his. Mu Changfeng, when Tianyu was alive, he would occasionally bring Anu along, and she would sometimes cross the line. Out of respect for his friend, he never held it against her, which led Anu to believe she could meddle in his affairs. Tianyu's death was related to Anu, and he still hasn't taken the two children for a paternity test with Qin Wentian. Ouyang said he hasn't had the chance to knock Qin Wentian unconscious yet and plans to do it within the next 2 nights. After that, he intends to draw Qin Wentian's blood to conduct a DNA test with the two children. Using hair would also work. Ouyang Wei just wants to knock Qin Wentian unconscious and draw his blood. Mu Changfeng doesn't care what method Ouyang Wei uses. As long as he can arrange for the two children and Qin Wentian to undergo a DNA test, once he confirms who the two children belong to, he will have the evidence to confront Anu and force her to reveal the true cause of Tianyu's death. The old lady gave her grandson a glare. "Are you really that clueless? Or are you just pretending? Anu likes you." Mu Changfeng, he genuinely had no idea. He hadn't even considered that possibility. In his eyes, Anu was the beloved of his childhood friend. When Tianyu was alive, he saw that Tianyu and Anu had a very good relationship and often showed off their affection. Back then, seeing the couple flaunt their love every day, Mu Changfeng was quite envious and thought it would be nice to have a girlfriend or wife. Anu came back this time, and I think it's not for the sake of the two children, but for you. She probably thinks that since you're raising her two children, if she remarries you, You'll be a family of 4 reunited. Isn't it said by some that she is your first love? Mu Changfeng's face darkened. Grandma, I never liked her. She was never my first love. And you found Yuqing and demanded that she divorce you. This drama, haha, it's getting interesting. The old lady showed no sympathy for her grandson, nor was she worried that her granddaughter-in-law had driven away in anger. She simply looked on with amusement, leaving Mu Changfeng both amused and exasperated. I can't just wait here. I'm going to find Yuqing. I won't disturb her, just follow her quietly. Mu Changfeng didn't want to dwell on what Anu felt for him right now. All he cared about was his Yuqing. Grandma, please look after the children. After leaving those words, Mu Changfeng hurriedly departed. He even ran into his parents at the orchard entrance. Changfeng, where are you going? You didn't even change your clothes. You weren't wearing a suit when you left this morning. Jiang Ruojuan saw her son in a suit and instinctively reminded him, Mom, I have something urgent to take care of. I need to go. You and Dad are coming home tomorrow. Right, bring the kids back to the villa too. Changfeng spoke while walking toward his car, taking the child back to the villa. Jiang Ruojuan realized something was wrong and asked, Changfeng, has the truth come out? Does Qingqing know? Where is Qingqing? Qingqing has left. I'm going after her, Jiang Ruojuan quickly said. Then go quickly, drive carefully. When you catch up with Qingqing, explain everything to her properly. Mu Changfeng got into the car and grunted in response. Soon, he drove off. Chapter 333, Enemies Cross Paths. Mu Gang watched his son drive away and muttered, You can't wrap fire in paper. Now you know panic, now you know fear. Jiang Ruojuan turned her head to look at him. Mu Gang immediately fell silent. Mu Gang, are you gloating? Let me tell you, Yuqing is my eldest daughter-in-law. And she will be for the rest of my life. If you dare to meddle in Changfeng's marriage again, and if Changfeng and Yuqing get divorced, then we'll get divorced too. Mu Gang quickly defended himself. Honey, I'm not gloating at all. Changfeng is my son too, and I love my son dearly. But it was wrong of Changfeng to hide his identity. He made a mistake. Now he's panicking and scared. But what was he doing back then? Changfeng's marriage is his own decision. Why should I interfere? Whether they divorce or not is their own business. You shouldn't get involved in the commotion either. We're both at the age where we could be grandparents. Don't even mention the word divorce. It really hurts this old man's heart. In short, whether my son gets divorced or not is absolutely none of my business, Mu Gang assured. No matter how dissatisfied he was with Xu Yuqing, he couldn't argue with the fact that his wife liked her and his son liked her. What else could he say? Last time, because of him, his old friend's company was suppressed by Changfeng. His wife even went back to her parents' home for a while, and Mu Gang no longer dared to break up his son and daughter-in-law's marriage. After all, it's his son who is living with Xu Yuqing, not him. If his son doesn't mind that Xu Yuqing is a country bumpkin, why should he? In the future, when he brings Xu Yuqing to various events, it won't be him who is ridiculed, and he won't lose face. Mu Gang has truly let go. He will no longer interfere with his eldest son's marriage, and not just his eldest son's. He is also determined not to meddle in his younger son's marriage. Children and grandchildren have their own blessings. Let them be. Yuqing was unaware of her in-law's reaction. After leaving the orchard, she drove on, speeding ahead, and before she knew it, she had returned to the city. It takes over an hour by car from the city to her orchard, and she had been running for more than an hour. Instinctively, she went to find her good friend Lin Xiaojun. She wanted to confide in Lin Xiaojun about her sudden marriage to a billionaire. It's so dramatic. Lin Xiaojun had once teased her, saying that the female leads in novels who have a flash marriage always end up with a big CEO. If she had a flash marriage, maybe she could also end up with a big CEO. Yuqing also said her friend had read too many novels. Well, her friend was right. By the way, there's also President Mu, whether it's her friend's boss, President Mu of Guangcheng Hotel, or President Ouyang, they were all helping Mu Changfeng deceive her. Mu Changfeng had asked her several times if she would believe him if he were the richest man, and how she responded to him. She said, in dreams, anything is possible. Yuqing felt like she was a complete joke now. She was completely fooled by Mu Changfeng. Even when he told the truth, she didn't believe him. Even when Anu told her, she still didn't believe it. It was only when Anu offered her money to buy her husband that she finally believed Anu's words. if Mu Changfeng were truly a construction worker, and you would never have offered 5 million just to get her to divorce him. Screech. Yuqing was driving very fast, and when she saw the red light ahead, she snapped back to attention and slammed on the brakes, but she still rear-ended the luxury car in front of her. The luxury car driver was probably stunned, not expecting to be rear-ended while waiting at a red light. Yuqing sat in the car for a minute, regaining her composure, then quickly got out. The luxury car driver was initially furious, but upon seeing that the person getting out of the car was Yuqing, he fell silent. Talk about a small world. The luxury car that Yuqing rear-ended happened to belong to none other than Zhao, the fourth young master, who was infatuated with her. After Zhao, the fourth young master, got out of the car, Yuqing was stunned to see it was him. An unlucky person can really choke to death just by drinking water. She had just found out she was deceived by the one closest to her, and as soon as she stepped out, she rear-ended the car of her admirer. Zhao Sishao will probably go all out to screw her over this time. Shu Yuqing, did you buy your driver's license? I was stopped at a red light, and you still managed to hit me. What? Do you not know where the brake is? Do you need me to teach you how to step on it? It's my fault, fourth young master Zhao. Whether we settle this privately or call the police, it's up to you. Fourth young master Zhao chuckled, feeling particularly pleased that Yuqing had fallen into his hands. He first checked the rear of his car. Yuqing was driving fast, and although she slammed on the brakes, the impact still hit the rear of his car quite hard. His is yet another luxury car worth millions. The repair cost, could make Shu Yuqing pay until her pants have holes. I heard Shu Yuqing still owes the bank $1 million in loans. Of course, we'll handle it by calling the police. Young Master Zhao Sai had no intention of settling the matter privately when he offended Shu Yuqing. She didn't want to settle it privately with him and insisted on reporting it to the police. Now, he's also reporting it to the police. In any case, Yuqing is definitely going to have to pay for the repair costs. It's entirely her fault. Zhao Sishao called the police. After calling the police, he walked to the roadside and stood there. Yuqing first took out traffic cones from her trunk, placed them behind her car to alert the vehicles behind to slow down and detour, preventing a second rear-end collision. After completing all this, she walked to the roadside and waited for the traffic police to arrive and handle the situation. Shu Yuqing, Zhao Sai sized up Yuqing. Yuqing said indifferently, if fourth young master Zhao wants to call Zhuang Sini over to see me in this sorry state, go ahead and call her now. Zhao Sai laughed heartily. If you hadn't reminded me, I would have forgotten. I should call Sini and have her come see you in this sorry state. Though he said this, Zhao Sai did not actually call Zhuang Sini. He and Zhuang Sini had been on very bad terms recently. Zhao Sai felt that he had been too good and too indulgent towards Zhuang Sini in the past. He had spoiled her so much that she treated him as someone she could summon and dismiss at will. He was the fourth young master of the Zhao family. Zhuang Sini's attitude towards him made him feel more and more like he was truly a simp. Shu Yuqing called him a bootlicker. And she was absolutely right. Are you in a bad mood? Zhao Sai looked at Yuqing and asked, you seem preoccupied. Is it because the fruits in your orchard aren't selling well? If you're willing to ask me for help, I might be able to solve your sales problem. I'm really looking forward to Miss Shu begging me. Perhaps because he had suffered several setbacks at Yuqing's hands, Zhao Sai genuinely looked forward to seeing this sharp-tongued woman lower her head and beg him, then beg him again. He once said that Shu Yuqing had better not fall into his hands. He could make Shu Yuqing understand that offending him, young Master Zhao Sai, would lead to no good end. When did young Master Zhao Sai become such a gossip? Zhao Sai, I crashed young Master Zhao Sai's car, and I take responsibility. No matter how much the repair costs, I will pay for it and will never shirk my responsibility. Zhao Sai curled his lips and said to her, I was just concerned about you. I and the fourth young master are like arch-enemies. Zhao fourth young master's concern should be in quotation marks. Zhao Sai laughed heartily. Shu Yuqing, I'm in a very good mood right now. I really want to laugh. Haha, you, Shu Yuqing, have finally fallen into my hands. Yuqing turned her face away, not wanting to see the smug look of this sycophantic villain. Chapter 334. Confused, Mu Changfeng pulled the car over to the side of the road and got out. Ching Ching. He quickly walked toward Shu Yuqing and asked with concern, Ching Ching, what's wrong? Zhao Sishao. He stared at Mu Changfeng, looking at him intently. Thinking he might be mistaken, he raised his hand to rub his eyes and looked at Mu Changfeng again. No mistake. The man who just got out of the car and walked over is Mu Changfeng, the CEO of the DA Mu Group, the one who got him scolded by his father and cost him several nearly finalized projects. Zhao Sai looked again at Mu Changfeng's car. It wasn't the Rolls-Royce he usually drove. Could it be that they just look exactly alike, and this Changfeng is not that Changfeng? Zhao Sai was completely dumbfounded. It was just that Mu Changfeng's concern for Xu Yuqing left him stunned. Mu Changfeng was very resistant to young women. Zhuang Xini had admired him for years, and now she could hardly even get to see him. How could he possibly be so good to Xu Yuqing? From the moment I got out of the car, my gaze was fixed on Xu Yuqing. Not even giving him a glance despite his presence, I got rear-ended. Yuqing responded faintly. Mu Changfeng quickly asked, "Are you alright? She's standing here perfectly fine. What could be wrong?" Fourth young master Zhao said impatiently. Only then did Mu Changfeng look at him and frown. "Why is it you again?" "Yes. It's me again. I'm unlucky. Every time I run into this Xu guy, I lose money." "Are you Mu Changfeng?" "The Mu Changfeng I'm thinking of." Zhao Sishao was completely confused by Mu Changfeng. Even though it was someone he knew, facing Mu Changfeng made him doubt himself, afraid he might have mistaken the person. Damn, they really look exactly the same. Mu Changfeng ignored him and only asked Yuqing with concern, "Have you called the police?" "The traffic police are here." Just as Mu Changfeng was asking questions, the traffic police arrived at the scene. Zhao Sishao didn't get a direct answer, but he was certain of one thing. This Mu Changfeng was indeed the one who had cost him several projects and lost his father's favor. It could be said that he is his arch-nemesis. How did Mu Changfeng and Xu Yuqing end up together? It seems like the two of them have a deep relationship, recalling all the times I targeted Xu Yuqing. Someone always came to her aid. Traces of Mu Changfeng could be found in these situations, as the ones helping Xu Yuqing were either Mu Changze or Ouyang Wei. One of them is Mu Changfeng's cousin, and the other is his right-hand man. What else could fourth young master Zhao not understand? So, Mu Changfeng likes a woman like Xu Yuqing. Thinking about the grudge between Zhuang Xini and Xu Yuqing, Zhao Sishao wondered, if Zhuang Xini found out that Xu Yuqing had won Mu Changfeng's affection, would she be driven mad with jealousy, and then ask him to help her deal with Xu Yuqing? It was Yuqing who couldn't brake in time and crashed into Zhao Sishao's car, so she is fully responsible and must compensate for Zhao Sishao's losses. Mu Changfeng called his bodyguard. After the bodyguards arrive, have one of them drive Yuqing's car for repairs. As for fourth young master Zhao's car, he will drive it to the repair shop himself. He mentioned that he would contact Xu Yuqing for the repair costs. Before fourth young master Zhao left, he heard Mu Changfeng calling Yuqing softly, "Darling." He also heard Mu Changfeng say, "Darling, I know I was wrong, it's my fault, I'm sorry, you can hit or scold me all you want, but please don't drive around recklessly. It's very dangerous." Hearing Mu Changfeng's words to Yuqing, fourth young master Zhao was so shocked that he nearly stumbled. Fortunately, he was getting into the car at that moment, so he ended up falling onto the car seat instead of the ground. He must have misheard. Not only was he hallucinating, but he was also hearing things. How could that Mu Changfeng be so gentle and humble toward a woman? He must have a problem with his ears. He needs to go to the hospital to check if his hearing is normal. Yuqing didn't say a word. She wanted to hail a taxi and leave. "Wife, where do you want to go? I'll take you there." Ma Changfeng was like her shadow. Wherever she went, he followed, groveling and apologizing, having already trampled all over the dignity of the esteemed young master Mu. When Yuqing hailed a taxi, Mu Changfeng stopped her from getting in and said to the taxi driver, "My wife won't be taking your car." The taxi driver, realizing it was a marital dispute, immediately drove away. Furious, Yuqing snatched the car keys from Mu Changfeng's hand and said coldly, "How could the great young master Mu drive such a cheap car? It would be too embarrassing for you. Give me back my car." Then she went to drive Mu Changfeng's car, who knew that as soon as she got in the car, he also followed and sat in the passenger seat. "Mu Changfeng, get out of the car, honey. I'm just following you to be your protector. I promise I won't disturb you. I'll count to 3. If you don't get out, I'll divorce you. I'll pay you whatever compensation you want for your lost youth." Mu Changfeng quickly said, "Honey, we're deeply in love, so we can't just casually talk about divorce. That hurts our feelings too much. I'll get out, I'll get out, I'll get out right away. Drive carefully, and even if you're angry with me, don't hurt yourself." Stop flattering yourself. I'm not letting you affect my emotions. Alright, I'll flatter myself. I'll add a few more layers of gold. So when you want some gold, you can just peel it off my face. Shu Yuqing. After kicking Mu Changfeng out of the car, she immediately started driving and quickly merged into the traffic. After she left, the bodyguards gathered around Mu Changfeng and asked, "Young master, are you going to go after the young mistress?" Mu Changfeng remained silent for a long while before saying, "It's no use going after her. Let her calm down first. Have 2 people follow her by car. They don't need to do anything. Just keep an eye on her to make sure she doesn't get into trouble again." Young Master Zhao found out about his and Yuqing's marital relationship and was utterly shocked. Mu Changfeng dared to say that young Master Zhao would be waiting for Yuqing up ahead. He really guessed right. Zhao Sishao was waiting for Yuqing at a section of the road ahead where parking was allowed. He had guessed that Yuqing would be driving Mu Changfeng's car. As he had been staring intently at Mu Changfeng's new vehicle earlier and had a clear impression of it, upon seeing Yuqing approach, he waved at her. Yuqing merely glanced at him and drove past without stopping. "Hey, Shu Yuqing, didn't you see me waving at you? Stop the car, I need to ask you something." Shu Yuqing, she's driving away so fast. Zhao Sishao failed to stop Yuqing's car. Muttering to himself, he returned to his own car and decided to drive it for repairs first. After that, he would have his bodyguard bring him another car. Once the repair bill was ready, he could contact Shu Yuqing for the money and then ask her about it. It's just that right now, he was itching with curiosity. His gossip-loving heart was left hanging, and it was quite unbearable. Yuqing went to Erway Company. Arriving at the company gate, she parked the car and honked the horn. Chapter 335, A Troubled Heart. The security guard on duty leaned out to take a look. Yuqing rolled down the car window. The security guard immediately opened the company's main gate. It turned out the president's wife had arrived. Not only was the company gate opened, but the security guard on duty also quickly stepped out of the security booth and greeted Yuqing respectfully. Listening to the security guard call her the president's wife, Yuqing looked upset. Does everyone in the Damu group, including those in the subsidiaries, know that she is the wife of the eldest son of the Mu family? Only she. The person involved is unaware. In fact, after Ma Changfeng's identity was exposed, Ouyang Wei immediately made Yuqing's identity known within the company, including all subsidiaries under the Damu group, guessing that Yuqing would go to find Lin Xiaojun. The security guards at Erway Company received the message and a photo of Shu Yuqing just a few minutes ago, so that Yuqing wouldn't come to the company and not even be able to enter the main gate. After parking the car, Yuqing called Lin Xiaojun. Ching. Lin Xiaojun didn't answer her call, but she walked over. She was still holding her bag and jogging over. "You don't have to go to work." Yuqing stopped dialing when she saw her friend, placed her phone back on the car hood, and asked the friend who was opening the car door to get in. "The iceberg suddenly told me to take half a day off to spend time with you. Ching, do you know about our CEO's identity? We've been analyzing it over and over, and it just didn't add up. Turns out the CEO is such a good actor, and he had everyone play along, completely confusing us." Lin Xiaojun chattered non-stop as soon as she got in the car. Yuqing remained silent. Ching. Xiaojun sensed something was wrong, leaned in closer, and asked with concern, "Ching, what's the matter?" "I was badly deceived, and I was so foolish. He told me several times. But I just didn't believe him. That's because his acting was too good." Yuqing sighed. "Xiaojun, what should I do? Do you want a divorce?" Lin Xiaojun got straight to the point. After a moment of stunned silence, Yuqing self-mockingly retorted to her friend, "Xiaojun, do you think if I ask for a divorce, he would actually divorce me? I never really thought about divorce. I'm just really angry about being deceived." It was rare for her to meet a man she was satisfied with. And her family had also accepted Ma Changfeng. Yuqing truly didn't want to get a divorce. If she divorced, she would end up like her sister, facing the excessive concern of the elders all over again. Moreover, she has developed feelings for Mu Changfeng, with feelings and physical intimacy. They are truly a married couple now. It's hard for her to be as decisive and straightforward as before. "I don't think our CEO will divorce you either. He has genuinely fallen in love with you, to be honest. Even though I've been speculating and analyzing all along, I was utterly shocked when I found out that our CEO is actually your husband. It feels so dramatic." Yuqing smiled bitterly. It is indeed dramatic. I never expected him to actually be the eldest son of the wealthiest family. How could the eldest son of the wealthiest family just casually agree to a flash marriage with me? Why didn't I bring a photo of my blind date that day, even if I didn't want to bring one? I should have at least taken a picture with my phone. That way, I wouldn't have mistaken him for someone else. It means you and our CEO are destined to be together. As the saying goes, fate brings people together across 1,000 miles, while those without fate may meet yet remain strangers. The two of you are simply meant to be a couple in this lifetime. The CEO has always been proud. Aside from the rumor of a white moonlight in his past, he has never been linked to any other woman. The fact that he was willing to marry you in a flash marriage shows that your bond is unbreakable. Yuqing remained silent. Mo Kangfeng said that Anue was not his white moonlight and that he had never loved her. It was Anue who had feelings for him. Xiaojun, come out for a few drinks with me. I'm so upset right now. I just need to vent. Let's drink until we're completely wasted, and when I'm drunk, I'll go back and beat up that guy surnamed Mu for lying to me, okay? Lin Xiaojun was willing to risk her life to keep her friend company. She knew Yuqing was extremely upset. No matter what Yuqing wanted to do, she would accompany her. Yuqing started the car. Did the CEO take the initiative to be open with you and confirm his identity? I didn't believe him when he told me. It was Anue who came to me, offering 5 million yuan to leave Changfeng and divorce him, that I finally believed Changfeng really is the eldest son of the wealthiest family. If he weren't the eldest son of the wealthiest family, why would Anue be willing to pay so much for him? Lin Xiaojun, Anue, that name sounds very familiar. She wanted to buy your husband. 5 million yuan to buy our CEO, that's way too cheap. The starting price should be at least 5 billion. Yuqing, you didn't agree to sell, did you? If you did, you'd be losing out big time. If Mu Changfeng were present and heard the conversation between the two women, he would definitely be infuriated. It was as if he were being treated like a commodity for sale. And you is the biological mother of the two children. I didn't know what kind of family the Qin family was before, but now I realize the Qin family is also a wealthy and influential one. Right. Now that you mention it, I remember. And Yu is the second daughter-in-law of the Qin family. The current president of the Qin group is An Yu's brother-in-law. If her husband hadn't passed away, the Qin group would have been handed over to him. After the second young master of the Qin family jumped to his death 4 years ago, wasn't his wife missing? She even abandoned her 2 children. Strangely, the Qin family also didn't want the children. If it weren't for the CEO, who, out of friendship with the second young master, adopted the 2 children, they would likely have been separated and sent to different families. The 2 children are so adorable. If they were sent to an orphanage, they would easily be adopted by someone else. An Yu likes Mu Changfeng, Yuqing said with certainty. Although she doesn't prioritize her career more or prefer making money, she isn't completely clueless about love either. She can see An Yu's admiration for Mu Changfeng. Lin Xiaojun said, she offered you 5 million to leave our CEO, so naturally, she has her sights set on him. Now that the CEO has adopted her 2 children, she might even believe, as the rumors suggest, that our CEO has feelings for her. By the way, when did she come back? And how did she find out about your marital relationship with the CEO? She even managed to find you so easily. Did someone tell her? After a moment of silence, Yuqing said, I don't know who told her. But it might have been Changfeng who did. Xiaojun, right now I don't want to dwell on who told Anue. What's bothering me is what I should do about Mu Changfeng. Xiaojun laughed and said, didn't you say you were going to get drunk and go home to beat him up to vent my anger? Anyway, you're not considering divorce, and even if you wanted to, you couldn't. The only option is to accept reality, since it's the Mu family, the wealthiest family, as you once advised me. The elders of the Mu family are very open-minded. As long as the CEO accepts and likes you, the entire Mu family will embrace you. Yuqing. She had once advised her friend to seriously consider Mu Changze and not miss out on this man worth entrusting her life to. Now, her friend was returning her own words to her. Speaking of which, if Xiaojun ends up with Mu Changze, wouldn't that make them sisters-in-law? Chapter 336, the brother-in-law's reaction. What are you looking at me like that for? Lin Xiaojun was being stared at by her friend and asked with amusement. Xiaojun, our friendship is the strongest, right? Lin Xiaojun affirmed. That's natural. I can't divorce Ma Changfeng. and I never thought about it. It's just hard for me to accept the fact that he's the eldest son of the wealthiest family. If you and the iceberg boss end up together, our friendship will be rock solid for life. Lin Xiaojun, how did this get turned around to her? The iceberg helped the CEO deceive you for so long. I'm not going to accept his feelings too quickly. Who knows if he might deceive me too? Exactly. You really need to think it through and see things clearly, otherwise you could end up being completely fooled. Yuqing now regrets her impulsive decision to rush into marriage. When she got married in a flash, she thought it was just about finding a husband to stop her parents from pressuring her about marriage. So she could quietly focus on making money. She believed she could control her heart and not fall in love with Mu Changfeng. She overestimated herself. Faced with the handsome Mu Changfeng and his meticulous care for her, she couldn't hold out for even 3 months before falling for him. That's right. Marriage is a major life event and cannot be taken lightly. You, on the other hand, were far too casual about it back then, but your carefree attitude turned out well, after all. You married the eldest son of the wealthiest family, not just some random person. Although Lin Xiaojun felt that the CEO had deceived her friend, she still acknowledged the good family values of the Mu family. Not only is the Mu family an exception among the wealthy elite, but even among ordinary families, it is rare to find such good family values and harmony. A harmonious family leads to prosperity in all things. The Mu family doesn't just talk about it. They practice it and have truly achieved it. Yuqing fell silent. She took her friend to the restaurant they used to frequent, ordered a few dishes and several bottles of wine. The two women ate and drank together. Yuqing was in a bad mood and drank the most, eventually getting drunk. Lin Xiaojun didn't dare to let herself get drunk. Seeing her friend drunk, she called Mu Changza. After he answered the phone, she said, "Mr. Mu, Qingqing is drunk. Please contact the president and ask him to pick her up. I'll send you the location. I don't want him to pick me up." Yuqing was drunk, but not completely out of it. She heard her friend making a phone call and shouting, "I don't want him to pick me up. Xiaojun, have my brother come get me. I want to go home." Home is a safe harbor. When she felt wronged or deceived, she just wanted to go home, back to the home where her parents and loved ones were. As long as she is home, she is not afraid even if the sky falls. All right, no need for him to pick you up, President Mu, it's unnecessary. I'll call Xu Wei and have him come to pick you up. After saying this, Lin Xiaojun quickly hung up the phone. Then she called Xu Wei. She and Yuqing have been good friends for many years, and she has the phone number of every member of the Xu family. Xu Wei quickly answered her call. "Sister Lin, what's up?" Xu Wei was still at work and was quite surprised to receive Lin Xiaojun's call. "Xu Wei, your second sister is drunk. She said she wants you to come pick her up. I'll send you the location, so come get her." "Alright, I'll ask for leave right now and go pick up my second sister." "Sister Lin, how did my second sister get drunk? She drives every day and hasn't touched alcohol in a long time." Lin Xiaojun said, "You can ask your second sister yourself after she sobers up." "Okay, I'm on my way. Send me the location." Xu Wei immediately went to ask for leave, preparing to pick up his drunk second sister and bring her home. Although Yuqing didn't want Mu Changfeng to pick her up, Mu Changza had overheard what Yuqing just said, so he informed his eldest brother. By the time Xu Wei brought the drunken Yuqing back, Mu Changfeng had also returned. He came back in his Rolls-Royce, accompanied by his team of bodyguards, who followed in several cars. As soon as they entered the village, they caught the attention of the entire community. Seeing the line of cars parked in front of the Xu family's house, the neighbors couldn't help but come over to watch the excitement. Xu Wei got out of the car and noticed a row of luxury vehicles parked at his doorstep. Instead of immediately helping his drunken second sister out of the car, he first stepped into the yard to see what was going on. When he spotted a Rolls-Royce among them, his eyes lit up. Men love cars, and Xu Wei is no exception. Although he hasn't bought a luxury car, that doesn't stop him from admiring them. The most luxurious car he has ever seen is his uncle's Porsche. Xu Wei was still wondering whose luxury car this was and why it was parked in front of his house. The car door opened. He saw a robust figure step out of the car. Without looking at the face, Xu Wei felt the figure looked very familiar, strikingly similar to his second brother-in-law. Except that his second brother-in-law didn't wear a suit or leather shoes. His second brother-in-law worked on a construction site and always wore liberation shoes to work. But when Xu Wei saw that face, He was completely stunned. This person, not only did his figure resemble his second brother-in-law, but how could his face be so similar too? Not just similar, it was exactly the same. It was truly identical. If his second brother-in-law just put on a suit and a tie, he would look exactly the same as this man. As soon as Mu Changfeng got out of the car, his bodyguards quickly stood by his side. It perfectly accentuated his kingly aura. Aunt Shu also came out from inside, carrying buckets, seemingly heading to the vegetable garden. Why so many cars, Shu Wei? Are they your friends? Mother Shu asked casually. Changfeng, upon seeing her son-in-law, Mother Shu exclaimed in surprise. Shu Wei quickly reminded his mother, Mom, this isn't my second brother-in-law. He just looks a lot like him. I wonder if my second brother-in-law has a long-lost twin brother who made a fortune and came back to find him. Mother Shu, isn't that Changfeng? They look exactly the same. How could it not be Changfeng? Mom, look at this car. It's a Rolls-Royce. Even the cheapest one costs several million yuan. My second brother-in-law's first car was even paid for with a down payment from my second sister. Shu Wei wasn't looking down on his second brother-in-law. He was just stating a fact to his mother. His second brother-in-law couldn't afford such an expensive car. After a long silence, Mu Changfeng's tightly pressed lips moved as he said, Mom, Shu Wei, it's me. Shu Wei's mouth was wide open, and he could be described as utterly stunned. Oh really? Are you really my second brother-in-law? Shu Wei stammered his question, and without waiting for Mu Changfeng to respond, he stepped forward with a laugh and patted Mu Changfeng's shoulder twice. Asking with a grin, second brother-in-law, did you win the lottery? Was it a few million or a few billion? I heard someone won a lottery worth over 100 million. Mu Changfeng paused for a moment before saying, No, I didn't win the lottery. I never buy lottery tickets. This car is the one I usually use. Shu Wei, the one you usually use, brother-in-law, are you joking? The car you usually drive is a Rolls-Royce. Shu Wei, where is your second sister? Mu Changfeng's heart was with his drunken wife. Chapter 337, Honesty. My second sister is drunk and still in my car, Shu Wei instinctively replied. After answering Ma Changfeng, he asked again, second brother-in-law, what exactly is going on here? Who are these people? How come you're driving such a nice car? Sister Lin said you and my second sister had a disagreement. What happened between you two, Changfeng? You and Qingqing had a disagreement. Is Qingqing drunk? Mother Shu asked with concern. What did the two of you disagree about? She was more concerned about her daughter and son-in-law's relationship. As for what kind of car her son-in-law was driving or why he brought so many people, she was curious. But not as much as her son, Mu Changfeng explained. I lied to Qingqing, and I lied to all of you. I don't work at a construction site, I work at Da Mu Group. Qingqing found out and was very angry. She doesn't want to talk to me and even went out drinking. Mother and son Shu looked at each other. Mother Shu found the name Da Mu Group somewhat familiar. She asked her son, which company is Da Mu Group? I think I've heard of it, but I can't recall it right now. She then said to Changfeng, Changfeng, you could have just told us you work at a company. Why did you have to lie? No wonder Qingqing is angry. She hates being deceived the most. This isn't a big deal, just explain it to Qingqing, Shu Wei said to his mother. Mom, have you even seen what kind of car my second brother-in-law is driving now? He asked Mu Changfeng, second brother-in-law, what position do you hold at the Da Mu Group? By the way, your surname is Mu, no way. Second brother-in-law, are you from the Mu family, the wealthiest family? Mu Changfeng said apologetically, Mom, Shu Wei, I'm sorry. Initially, Qingqing mistook me for someone else. And I went along with it and married her. That's why I've been hiding my identity all this time. I am the eldest son of the Mu family, the wealthiest family, and the head of the Da Mu Group, Shu's mother and Shu Wei. Mom, Shu Wei, I'll go take care of Qingqing first. After revealing his identity, Mu Changfeng informed his mother-in-law and brother-in-law before heading into the courtyard. He approached Shu Wei's car, opened the door, leaned in, gently lifted the intoxicated Yuqing into his arms, and carefully carried her out of the vehicle. As Yuqing was being held, she opened her eyes briefly. Perhaps due to her drunken state and blurred vision, she didn't seem to recognize Mu Changfeng. After a glance, she closed her eyes again and drifted back to sleep. Mu Changfeng carried Yuqing into the house. His parents, along with the elderly lady and others, were waiting inside for his news. Seeing him carrying Yuqing in, Jiang Ruojuan and her mother-in-law stood up and came over, asking with concern, Changfeng, what happened to Yuqing? She's drunk. Grandma, Mom, I'll take Qingqing upstairs first, go quickly. Seeing her grandson bring his wife back, the old lady felt relieved. Mu Changfeng carried Yuqing upstairs. Xu Wei and his mother quickly reacted and hurried inside, with Xu's mother even abandoning her plans to go to the vegetable garden. In-laws, is what Changfeng said true? Your family is actually the wealthiest in Guangxing. As soon as Mother Xu entered, she grabbed her in-law's hand and asked in disbelief. Jiang Ruojuan said very apologetically, In-law, I'm sorry, we deceived you. But rest assured, the marriage between the two children is real. Our family also likes Yuqing very much and won't break them apart, Mother Xu said. But our family is not worthy of yours, they are just an ordinary family. Jiang Ruojuan quickly responded, In-laws, please don't say such things. In our Mu family, everything is based on the children's wishes and happiness. We elders are very open-minded. We've been in-laws for quite some time now. Aren't you familiar with the character of my husband, myself, and my mother-in-law? If we didn't like Yuqing or had even the slightest bit of disdain, we would have separated the two long ago. In fact, we're very grateful that you didn't look down on Changfeng for bringing along two children from a previous marriage. Xu's mother thought to herself that her in-laws were indeed easy to get along with, not at all like the arrogant, condescending characters often portrayed in TV dramas. She said, Let's wait until Qingqing is fully conscious and see what she thinks. When they first saw the photo on the marriage certificate and Mu Changfeng in person, the elders of the Xu family felt that Mu Changfeng didn't seem like someone who worked moving bricks on a construction site. However, since Mr. Xu had gone to the construction site to inquire and confirmed that there was indeed a person named Mu Changfeng, the Xu family eventually believed that he was truly a construction worker. Only after meeting the in-laws did they feel that the in-laws were very refined and well-mannered people. After the two families began to interact, the Xu family also came to appreciate the character of the in-laws, finding them far superior to the Dong family. Little did they know, they had all been deceived. Mu Changfeng turned out to be the eldest son of the wealthiest family. Mu Changfeng carried Yuqing back to their room, laid her on the bed, and helped her take off her shoes. Dad, Qin Fan and his sister walked in. Qin Fan even remembered to close the door to prevent Wei Wei from coming in. Dad, what's wrong with Mom? Qin Yu asked. Mu Changfeng was sitting on the edge of the bed, watching the sleeping Yuqing. Hearing his daughter's question, he picked her up and let her sit on his lap. Dad told Mom, and Mom got a little angry. She drank some alcohol and is now drunk. Qin Fan asked with concern, Dad, will Mom get so angry that she divorces you? Mu Changfeng also drew his son closer, comforting the child's emotions. Don't be afraid, Mom and Dad won't get divorced. Even if Mom asks for a divorce, Dad won't agree. Besides, Mom loves both of you dearly and can't bear to leave you. Fan, yeah, when Mom wakes up, you need to speak up for Dad in front of her, act a little spoiled, and show her how scared you are of Mom and Dad getting divorced. That way, for your sake, Mom won't kick Dad out. Mu Changfeng knew that in Yuqing's heart. He didn't carry as much weight as the two children. He felt sour, he was jealous, but he had to face the reality. Yuqing cared more about the two children. He taught the two children to speak up for him and plead on his behalf after Yuqing woke up, so that she wouldn't be so angry as to actually divorce him. Although he wouldn't agree to a divorce, he was afraid that Yuqing would ignore him. Sigh, he should have told Yuqing earlier. The two siblings nodded repeatedly. But, Dad, we also lied to Mom. We've been helping you deceive her. Will Mom resent us too? Qin Fan asked worriedly. Mu Changfeng paused for a moment before saying, No. Mom will only blame Dad. She'll blame Dad for forcing you to lie. Mu Changfeng is quite self-aware. Dad, Mom is angry. You should go buy lots of gifts. When Mom wakes up, give her plenty of presents and try your best to cheer her up. Qin Yu, young but with a mature mind, reminded Mu Changfeng. Mu Changfeng asked, What gift? When your mother is angry, even if you gave her a mountain of gold, she wouldn't want it. Chapter 338, Jealousy and Resentment. After a pause, Mu Changfeng added, She might even scold me for showing off my wealth. Qin Yu, that's true, when someone is angry, they won't accept any gifts. Like when she's angry, even if Dad holds her, she'll still be upset. As long as Mom doesn't bring up divorce, She can hit or scold Dad, and he'll take it. Fan. Yeah. Don't you two worry too much. Our family of 4 won't be separated. Go downstairs and play with your brothers. Qin Yu slid off the bed. Qin Fan held his sister's hand, glanced worriedly at his parents twice, and obediently left the room. Mu Changfeng had been sitting on the edge of the bed, keeping watch over Yuqing. He took Yuqing's hand, brought it to his lips, and kissed it again and again, saying softly, Qing. I'm sorry, it's my fault. No matter what my initial intentions were, the fact that I kept it from you all along is my mistake. Qing, you can hit me, scold me, I'll accept it all. But please don't divorce me, don't ignore me. Yuqing was sound asleep and couldn't hear these words from Ma Changfeng. Meanwhile, at the Zhuang residence, after receiving Anua's call and confirming that Xu Yuqing was indeed the eldest daughter-in-law of the Mu family, Zhuang Xini instantly smashed her phone. Mrs. Zhuang had just finished cutting a plate of fruit and was bringing it over. Seeing her daughter smash the phone, she glanced at the phone lying shattered on the floor. Then at her daughter whose face was as dark as charcoal, and finally placed the fruit platter on the coffee table. Then she bent down to pick up the phone. She saw that the phone screen was cracked. She placed the phone on the coffee table, sat down beside her daughter, and asked with concern, "What happened again? You've been in such a low mood lately, with a dark expression every day, as if someone owes you billions and hasn't paid you back. Have you and 4th young Master Zhao made up yet?" Xini, even if you think your mom is a chatterbox, I truly have your best interests at heart. Please listen to your parents' advice and stop thinking about the eldest son of the Mu family. Our family is already considered to be reaching high by marrying into the Zhao family, let alone the Mu family. The main issue is that the eldest son of the Mu family has no feelings for you at all, while 4th young Master Zhao loves you deeply. Xini, when a woman gets married, if she can't marry the man she loves, she should marry the one who loves her. That way, he will cherish and care for you, and you can live a good life. Don't you have any feelings at all for how well 4th young Master Zhao treats you? You enjoy his kindness while using him to pursue the eldest son of the Mu family. How could 4th young Master Zhao not feel hurt and sad? Don't break his heart so completely that it turns cold. By the time you want to warm it again, it will be too late. And you will regret it. Mrs. Zhuang thinks young Master Zhao is quite suitable, because young Master Zhao truly loves her daughter. Moreover, the Zhao family is wealthy and influential. Her daughter currently has no interest in her career and hasn't achieved anything in a long time. In fact, her past accomplishments were actually stolen from Xu Yuqing. Mrs. Zhuang knew that her daughter went out every day in hopes of finding the eldest young master of the Mu family. Every night when her daughter returned, she could tell the outcome just by looking at her expression. "Mom," Zhuang Xini said with grievance and envy, "I can't accept it. In what way am I inferior to Xu Yuqing? Am I not more beautiful than her? I have everything now, while she has nothing. How did she become the eldest young mistress of the Mu family? That's a position I've dreamed of occupying, yet Xu Yuqing easily took it. I couldn't even catch a glimpse of the eldest young master of the Mu family no matter how hard I tried, but she effortlessly married him and is deeply cherished by him. I thought Xu Yuqing had a stroke of luck, with such good fortune and wealth. It turns out it was all because young Master Mu was helping her behind the scenes. No wonder even Brother Cheng couldn't touch her. Young Master Mu was protecting her from the shadows. What skills does Xu Yuqing have? What qualifications does she possess to become the young mistress of the Mu family? She isn't even worthy of tying young Master Mu's shoelaces." Zhuang Xini knew that after Anu returned, she had even less chance of becoming Mu Changfeng's wife. However, she couldn't accept that Xu Yuqing had become the young mistress of the Mu family. Mrs. Zhuang was utterly confused and asked her daughter, "Xini, what are you talking about? I don't understand. What happened to Yuqing? What young mistress is she? Does she know young Master Mu? Didn't you say young Master Mu is extremely hard to meet? How could she possibly have met him?" Zhuang Xini said with jealousy. Not only did she get to see him, but she even slept with him. "Mrs. Zhuang, Mom, the person who just called me is Anu, the second daughter-in-law of the Qin family. Many people say she is the first love of the eldest young master of the Mu family. Her 2 children were adopted by the eldest young master of the Mu family and treated as his own, but even her return was useless. Mu Changfeng married Xu Yuqing. I gave Anu Xu Yuqing's address, and Anu went to verify it today. It was An Yu who told me that Shu Yuqing is indeed the wife of the eldest young master of the Mu family. She married the man I could hardly even get a chance to meet. Mrs. Zhuang was taken aback. No way, how is that possible? Although Shu Yuqing is pleasant to look at, she's not a great beauty. What could have possibly won over the eldest son of the Mu family? She recalled that time at the banquet when the third son of the Mu family had stood up for Shu Yuqing and supported her. Mrs. Zhuang's expression shifted repeatedly. Perhaps what my daughter said is true. If Shu Yuqing is the eldest daughter-in-law of the Mu family, then it makes sense for the third young master of the Mu family to defend her. After all, she is his sister-in-law. The Mu siblings share a deep bond, so it is only natural for the third young master to stand up for Shu Yuqing, the eldest sister-in-law, in public. I also wish it weren't true, but it is, and you even tried to verify it. She wanted Shu Yuqing to divorce the young master of the Mu family and even offered her 5 million, but Shu Yuqing remained unmoved. Later, when the young master returned, An Yu quickly left, failing to force Shu Yuqing to leave him. Zhuang Xini was more than happy to see An Yu dealing with Shu Yuqing. She even thought that if An Yu and Shu Yuqing fought to a draw, she could reap the benefits. Shu Yuqing is so fortunate to become the eldest daughter-in-law of the Mu family. Is it the Mu family, the wealthiest one? How did the eldest son of the wealthiest Mu family get to know Yuqing? When did they get together? Mrs. Zhuang murmured to herself. How could this happen? How did she end up marrying the eldest son of the Mu family? Zhuang Xini said irritably. I heard from Shenjiao that Yuqing got married before the Dragon Boat Festival. It was a flash marriage. But I don't know how she ended up marrying young Master Mu. He's always been indifferent to women. So why would he agree to marry her? And in a flash marriage at that, there's too much I can't figure out. Soon. Zhuang Xini said fearfully, Mom, if Shu Yuqing becomes the eldest daughter-in-law of the Mu family, will she take revenge on me? Will my father and I be ruined and left with nothing? 5 years ago, I stole her hard work. If she has proof, what will I do? Her liking for Mu Changfeng is one thing. But what she really wants is to become the eldest daughter-in-law of the Mu family for their power and influence. She's afraid that Shu Yuqing will make a comeback. She believed that only by becoming the most esteemed lady in Guangxing could she not fear Shu Yuqing's retaliation, and she would also have the power to suppress Shu Yuqing, preventing her from making a comeback. Chapter 339. Shenjiao is in the know. Mrs. Zhuang comforted her, saying, Didn't you handle all the evidence back then? It's been so many years. Even if Shu Yuqing becomes the eldest daughter-in-law of the Mu family, does she really have the ability to find the evidence? Zhuang Xini felt a bit more at ease and said, That's true, my father and I have erased all the evidence. Back then, Shu Yuqing couldn't prove her innocence, and even less so 5 years later. Now that she's the eldest daughter-in-law of the wealthiest family, her every move will be under the media's scrutiny. At that time, I'll leak to the media that she's a copycat, ensuring she's utterly disgraced. Maybe the Mu family will find her reputation tarnished and abandon her outright. Mrs. Zhuang frowned and advised her daughter, Xini, I think you'd better not leak this to the media. If it backfires and ends up ruining the reputation of you and your father, you'll regret it deeply. Although you and your father erased the evidence 5 years ago, you can't guarantee there are no insiders. What was the name of that girl who helped you frame Yuqing? The one who was in the same class as Yuqing but was jealous of her. Although Shu Yuqing didn't have an exceptionally outstanding appearance, she always had a certain charm that effortlessly won people over and made everyone like her. When she was still a student, she was very popular. Moreover, although she was not a great beauty, she was very pleasant to look at. And those who knew how to appreciate her liked her especially. Therefore, there were quite a few girls who were jealous of Shu Yuqing. 5 years ago, Zhuang Xini was able to successfully plagiarize Yuqing's design drawings because a classmate who was jealous of Yuqing helped her. She was in cahoots with Zhuang Xini and knew everything from the beginning to the end. Shenjiao, Zhuang Xini whispered, she was the most jealous of Yuqing. That's right, it's her, Xini. There are still people who know the truth. So you should stop meddling in this matter. If someone brings it up in the future, that's their business. As long as it's not you who brings it up, it's fine. Don't push too hard, a cornered dog will jump over the wall. What if the Mu family helps Shu Yuqing search for evidence from back then? Paper can't wrap up fire. As the old saying goes, if you don't want others to know, don't do it. Although some things can be hidden for a while, They will eventually be exposed in the end. Mrs. Zhuang strongly advised her daughter not to provoke Xu Yuqing again. She actually quite liked Xu Yuqing. In the past, every time Yuqing saw her, she would sweetly call her Shimu, teacher's wife. She had also strongly opposed her husband and daughter taking advantage of Xu Yuqing. Unfortunately, neither of them listened to her advice. Her daughter first resorted to plagiarism, and to protect their daughter's reputation, her husband had no choice but to help cover up the mess, erase the evidence, and further harm Yuqing, as Cindy's biological mother, torn between justice and family loyalty. She helplessly chose the latter. Over the years, hearing that Yuqing had returned to her hometown to grow fruit, Mrs. Zhuang felt deeply regretful. Her husband and daughter had truly destroyed a talented designer. After thinking for a moment, Zhuang Xini looked murderous and said fiercely, "If Shenjiao dies, no one will ever know about this matter." Upon hearing her words, Mrs. Zhuang was greatly startled. "Xini, don't do anything foolish. Killing someone will cost you your life. There are surveillance cameras everywhere now, and the police's crime-solving techniques are getting more and more advanced. If you really kill someone, your life will be completely ruined, and you'll face legal punishment. Your father and I only have you as our child. You must not do something as terrible as killing or arson. Don't make us, your parents, bury our own child." Mrs. Zhuang was afraid that her daughter, in a moment of madness, would get rid of Shenjiao. "Mom, I was just saying it casually. I don't want to pay with my life, and I won't actually go and kill Shenjiao. The Shen family is wealthy too. If I killed her, the police would definitely investigate thoroughly, and I wouldn't be able to escape." Zhuang Xini hoped for Shenjiao's death, but she wouldn't personally commit murder. If someone knew her thoughts and was willing to help her get rid of Shenjiao, keeping her out of it, that would be ideal. Zhuang Xini naturally thought of fourth young master Zhao. Zhao Xixiao has been infatuated with her for many years and has always doted on her greatly. In the past, whenever she asked Zhao Xixiao to do something for her, he was always willing to help. Thinking about how Zhao Xixiao no longer responds to her beck and call as he used to, Zhuang Xini feels a bit panicked inside. She has no chance of marrying Mu Changfeng, and if she loses Zhao Xixiao as well, she will truly end up with nothing. "Mom, I'm going out to get some fresh air and clear my mind." Zhuang Xini decided to go find fourth young master Zhao immediately. She would humble herself to him, first win back fourth young master Zhao's heart, then slowly reveal her intention to eliminate Shenjiao. Fourth young master Zhao would naturally help her arrange to get rid of Shenjiao. "Where are you going, Mrs. Zhuang asked. Zhuang Xini got up and went upstairs, saying as she walked, "I'm going to find Brother Cheng. He's been a lot colder to me lately." "Mom is right. He's the one who treats me best. I want to win back his heart." Mrs. Zhuang followed her anxiously and reminded her, "Don't tell young Master Zhao about getting rid of Shenjiao." "Mom, I know, I won't do that kind of thing," Zhuang Xini said somewhat irritably. Mrs. Zhuang stopped and did not follow any further. Watching her daughter's retreating figure, she sighed. 10 minutes later, Zhuang Xini changed her clothes, put on makeup, took the limited edition bag gifted by fourth young master Zhao, wore the jewelry he had given her, and then picked up her phone with the shattered screen to go find him. As long as fourth young master Zhao saw her shattered phone screen, he would automatically buy her a new one. From the moment fourth young master Zhao fell in love with her, whenever she needed something, he would buy it for her. Actually, young master Zhao treated her really, really well. After Zhuang Xini left, Mrs. Zhuang called her husband and told him that Xu Yuqing was the eldest daughter-in-law of the Mu family. Upon hearing this news, Zhuang Shuo was speechless for a long time, finally regaining his composure. He asked his wife, "How is Xini?" The phone screen was shattered, and now she's gone out, saying she wants to win back young master Zhao Sai. She has no hope for young master Mu anymore. I hope she can cherish young master Zhao Sai properly. He treats her so well. Yet she insists on coveting young Master Mu, who doesn't belong to her, Zhuang Shuo said. The Mu family is the wealthiest, while the Zhao family, though affluent, can't compare to the Mu family. Our daughter wants the best of everything. If it were someone else as the young mistress of the Mu family, it might be different, but it's Yuqing. How did Yuqing become the young mistress of the Mu family? Xu Yuqing actually has such good fortune. That child was always a good one. When will you be back? Let's talk in detail when you return. Now that Yuqing's status and position have changed, will she seek revenge on us? After speaking, Mrs. Zhuang complained to her husband again. I tried to persuade both you and your daughter back then, but neither of you listened to me. Yuqing called you her teacher for several years. And there was a bond between you as teacher and student, yet you, if one day the truth comes out, your reputation will be ruined for life. Chapter 340, Mu Changfeng is a big liar. Other teachers have students all over the world, but you will be remembered for infamy. And with the internet being so developed these days, just the thought of it made Mrs. Zhuang fearful and worried, and she couldn't bring herself to say any more. Zhuang sure didn't speak on the phone. He quickly hung up on his wife. One wrong step leads to another. Even if he turns back now, he can't save his reputation. The only way is to help his daughter go down this dark path. Yuqing didn't know Zhuang Xinyi's reaction. She kept sleeping and didn't wake up until midnight. She woke up because she was thirsty, opening her eyes to complete darkness. She was dazed and took a long moment to come to her senses. It was already nighttime. Where is she now? She turned her head but felt a sharp, throbbing pain. This was the aftermath of a hangover. She reached out and touched the side, feeling Mu Changfeng. He was lying beside her. Yuqing withdrew her hand from touching Mu Changfeng, rubbing her aching temples while recalling what had happened before she started drinking. It was Anu who came to see her. And she thought Anu wanted to see the two children, who knew that Anu was the man she secretly admired. But Mu Changfeng was not a construction worker on the site. He was actually the eldest son of the wealthiest family. He had deceived her terribly. He claimed that his grandmother had given him the same name as the eldest son of the wealthiest family to borrow some of his noble aura, and she actually believed him. Also, when she followed him back to his hometown to meet his parents, the house they stayed in was definitely rented temporarily, or it might have been built by his family but was originally meant for the workers. When he took her to visit the mountain villa, the butler treated them so well. She had thought that Mu Changfeng often went to the villa to hang out and had become familiar with everyone. Only now did she realize that the villa was actually his real home. He was just returning home. And the butler treated them so well because he was the eldest young master of the Mu family villa. That scoundrel, he had her completely fooled. The more Yuqing thought about it, the angrier she became. And she couldn't help but pinch Mu Changfeng's arm. Mu Changfeng felt the pain, but he endured it. He waited for Yuqing to pinch him a second time, but she did not pinch him again. He reached out and turned on the bedside lamp. Yuqing immediately turned her head to look at him, a bit too abruptly, which made her head hurt even more. She couldn't help but rub her throbbing temples with her hand. It didn't hurt this much the last time I woke up after drinking. This time is just too painful, darling. I'm not afraid of pain. Do you still want to pinch me? If you're angry, you can hit me or scold me. I'll accept it all. Are you feeling really unwell? You're hungover, and it's tough. Should I go downstairs and make you a bowl of sobering soup, since I'm already awake? What's the point of drinking a sobering soup? All this pain I'm feeling now is because of you, Mu Changfeng. You big liar. In her anger, Yuqing even kicked him, trying to push him off the bed. Big liar. Yes, it's my fault. Dear, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Mu Changfeng wasn't angry even after being kicked. He was happy as long as his wife paid attention to him, even if it meant kicking him. What he feared most was his wife ignoring him. That would drive him crazy. Go get me a cup of warm water. I'm dying of thirst. Yuqing looked at his fawning manner, both annoyed and amused, and couldn't help but kick him again, telling him to get off the bed and fetch her a glass of water. At your command, my dear wife. I'll go get you a glass of warm water right away. Mu Changfeng rolled out of bed and went to fetch water for Yuqing. Yuqing sat up, seeing that she had changed clothes. There was no need to ask. It was clear that Mu Changfeng had helped her change. Mu Changfeng soon returned with a cup of warm water. He sat on the edge of the bed and handed the cup to Yuqing. He intended to feed her the water, but Yuqing didn't need his help. She took the cup herself and drank most of it in one go. After moistening her throat, she placed the remaining half cup of warm water on the bedside table and glared at Mu Changfeng. Wife, Mu Changfeng smiled ingratiatingly. Don't smile at me, Yuqing said angrily. I'm still mad. Don't think that just because you're grinning like a fool, I'll forgive you. All right. I won't smile anymore, honey. Just be mad at me for a couple of days, but don't stay angry for too long. It's bad for your health. It's not worth ruining your health over a big liar like me. Yuqing kicked him again with her foot, though not very hard. You tell me, why did you lie to me? Mu Changfeng took off his shoes and sat back down beside Yuqing, who warned him, "Stay away from me, you big liar, wife," Mu Changfeng called out softly, dragging the end of the word, which to Yuqing's ears sounded like he was acting spoiled, trying to win her over. He still has the nerve to act cute, but she's not falling for it. Speak properly, use a normal tone. If you keep using that coquettish voice, you'll be sleeping in the study. Mu Changfeng quickly straightened his expression. "Honey, you know how we got our marriage certificate. You mistook me for someone else, and then you told me you wouldn't get a divorce. That you'd just go along with the mistake. After all, when we registered, both of us were single. I thought it was quite amusing, so I went along with it and didn't tell you my real identity. I admit, since I didn't know you well, I hid my identity to assess your character. I kept it from you because I was afraid you'd be angry and divorce me if you found out, so I kept hiding it. It wasn't until you changed your mind and said you wouldn't divorce me as long as I didn't abuse or cheat on you that I dared to tentatively tell you the truth, that I'm the eldest son of the wealthiest family," Mu Changfeng explained. "But when I told you, you didn't believe me. Maybe my acting was just too good. To the point that even when I told the truth, you couldn't trust me anymore," Yuqing said sarcastically. "Yes, your acting was so good that you had me completely fooled. It's a shame you didn't become a celebrity. If you'd entered the entertainment industry, you'd definitely have become a film emperor. I did mistake you for someone else, but if I'd known you were the eldest son of the wealthiest family, I would never have let the mistake continue. What's wrong with being the eldest son of the wealthiest family? Why do you despise me so much? What did I do wrong?" Mu Changfeng asked bitterly. Countless women out there are desperately trying to marry him to become the young mistress of the household, yet she looks down on him. She was just that unique. So, without understanding her, he didn't tell her about the mistaken identity and went along with it, marrying her. Yuqing got out of bed. But as soon as she moved, she felt a terrible, terrible headache. "Honey, don't move, sit or lie down. A hangover headache is really bad. If you need anything, just tell me, and I'll get it for you." Mu Changfeng helped Yuqing back to bed with a heart full of concern, not allowing her to get up. "Go get a mirror." "Where is the mirror?" Mu Changfeng remembered there was a mirror in the bathroom, but was there one in the room? He hadn't noticed any. Yuqing doesn't like to dress up, or rather, she's too busy with the orchard to have time for it. In fact, she looks quite beautiful when she does dress up. There's a mirror in the drawer. Ma Changfeng fetched the mirror as Yuqing had indicated and handed it to her, but she didn't take it. "Take a look at yourself in the mirror, have a good look, and you'll understand why I find you off-putting." Mu Changfeng, Chapter 341, The Cute Kid Pleads. Mu Changfeng held a mirror and looked at his reflection, saying, "Honey, I think I'm quite good-looking, not ugly. Why do you dislike me? I really don't get it," Yuqing said impatiently. "Yes, you're just too good-looking. I dislike you because you're too handsome." Mu Changfeng, "Do you actually like men who look like Shubaji?" "That's not it. It's not that you have to be too ugly either, just average is fine. You're too good-looking, so there would be a lot of women who like you. I used to think you worked on a construction site and believed others would look down on your job, so they wouldn't compete with me for you. But now you're the eldest son of the wealthiest family. Not to mention those I don't know about, just the ones I'm aware of. Zhuang Xinian and you both admire you. There must be even more I don't know about. Who wants a whole bunch of love rivals? Anyway, I don't like having a whole bunch of love rivals." Yuqing sat up again, enduring her headache, reached out to grab Mu Changfeng's clothes, pulled him closer, and leaned in herself until they were face to face, eye to eye. "Regretfully," she said. "Why did I ever sign that agreement with you back then? If she initiated the divorce, she'd have to pay him a hefty compensation for his lost youth. It just wasn't worth it, especially since the amount of compensation is determined by him." Mu Changfeng pulled her into an embrace. "Ching. Let's not get divorced. If you're angry, you can hit me, scold me, or even bite me. Just don't divorce me." Yuqing struggled in his embrace, but he wouldn't let go. She pushed him hard and cried out, "Let go of me. My head hurts so much. It feels like it's about to explode. You big liar. It's all your fault." Mu Changfeng immediately released her. "Lie down. Should I go buy some medicine for you to ease the pain? It's the middle of the night. Where are you going to buy medicine? As long as you're not hovering around me, I can get a good night's sleep, and the pain will be gone by tomorrow morning. Take your pillow and blanket and go sleep in the guest room." Or go sleep with your two little liars. I've loved them so much and treated them as my own children, yet they helped you deceive me for so long." While Yu Qing was angry with Mu Changfeng, she was also angry with the two adorable children, such cute children, yet they could lie and deceive her so thoroughly. The entire Mu Changfeng family is full of liars. They all kept it from her. Yu Qing always thought she was quite clever, but she took a big fall with Mu Changfeng. "Wife, don't call me wife. Every time I hear you call me that now, I regret it so much it makes me sick. It's all my fault for not wearing my glasses back then, mistaking the person, and marrying the wrong husband." Mu Changfeng embraced her again, and just as she was about to push him away, he shamelessly lowered his head and sealed her red lips, giving her a deep, lingering kiss that left her dizzy and disoriented, completely forgetting to resist. "We have a marriage certificate. We are legally married. You are my wife." After kissing Yu Qing until she was dizzy, Mu Changfeng hoarsely declared his identity in her ear. "Wife, you have a headache. Let's rest. We can talk about anything else tomorrow. Come, I'll hold you while you sleep. It'll be more comfortable." Mu Changfeng coaxed Yu Qing and turned off all the lights in the room. Rain Qing pushed him and even kicked him with her foot, but he wouldn't budge. Instead, he pressed closer and embraced her again. "Wife, if you keep trying to drive me away, I don't mind rolling around in bed with you a few times until you don't have the strength to push me away anymore." Shu Yuqing's face darkened. Mu Changfeng flipped over and pinned her beneath him, looking as though he was ready to drain all her energy. "I surrender." Yu Qing had a terrible headache and didn't want to be drained of her energy by him. Besides, she was still angry. Who was in the mood to make a baby with him? Much to his regret, Mu Changfeng tapped her lips again and said, "Honey, you should have held on. Get off. I want to sleep next to you." "Yu Qing, if you don't get off right now, you can go sleep in the study, or I'll leave." She pushed him, making a move to get up. "Darling, I surrender." Ma Changfeng couldn't bear to let her go. If she left, he wouldn't be able to see her tomorrow. She would lock herself in her room all day. Yu Qing felt very uncomfortable and was too tired to keep arguing, no matter how fiercely they argued. It wouldn't change the fact that they were husband and wife. In the middle of the night, the couple finally quieted down. The next day, Yu Qing slept until the sun was high in the sky and woke up hungry. Opening her eyes, she was met with two adorable, tender faces. It was her son and daughter. "Mom, Mom." Two small bouquets were handed to Yu Qing. Yu Qing looked at the two children and remained silent for a moment. At this moment, her headache had lessened. "Mom, we're sorry. We apologize to you. We both lied to you, helped Dad hide his identity, and deceived you. It was our fault. Mom, we're sorry. Can you forgive us?" The two children, with their big sparkling eyes, held small bouquets of flowers, their gazes filled with both guilt and hope as they looked at Yu Qing. Yu Qing sat up. The children wanted to help her, but before they could offer their support, Yu Qing sat up on her own. "Mom, is your head still hurting?" "Dad said your head would hurt," Qin Yu asked with concern. "Mom's head doesn't hurt as much now. There's just a slight lingering pain, but it's bearable." "Yeah, Fan. Mom wants to ask you, did Dad ask you to help him keep it a secret from me?" The two children glanced at each other. It was what Dad asked for, but telling the truth would make me feel guilty toward him. "In the past, I could overlook the times you lied to Mom, but if you lie to me again or don't tell me the truth from now on, Mom will really get angry." Yu Qing deliberately put on a stern face. Qin Fan immediately said, "Mom, Dad told the two of us to help keep it a secret, but Dad is sincere toward you. You're so young. Do you even know what sincerity means? Did your dad teach you two to speak well of him?" Yu Qing took the small bouquet handed to her by the two children, just a few flowers tied together. Mo Kangfeng probably worried that a larger bouquet would be too heavy for the children to carry. "Mom, we may be young, but we know the difference between sincerity and pretense. You are sincere to us. While those sisters who liked Dad before were all fake, in front of Dad, they treated us well. But when he wasn't around, their attitude was completely different. They are 4.5 years old, or 5 by traditional reckoning. Although they are still very young, the siblings are well aware of who is genuinely kind to them and who is not. Before meeting Mom, Dad never dated or got married. Partly because he hadn't met anyone he liked, but also because he was thinking of them. Dad said that even if he were to get married, he would only marry a woman who truly accepts and loves them. Qin Yu whispered in a small voice, "Mom, Dad asked my brother and me to put in a good word for him. Mom, Please don't be mad at Dad anymore, okay? My brother and I are so scared, we're afraid you and Dad will argue. When couples argue and have conflicts, letting children know about it can cause them significant harm. Chapter 342, Understanding. Yuqing gently picked up her daughter. Yeah, Mom won't argue with Dad anymore. You and your brother don't need to be afraid. It's also Mom and Dad's fault for making you worry. Qin Yu wrapped her arms around Yuqing's neck. Mom, I love you. Qin Fan also climbed onto the bed, hugging one of Yuqing's arms. Mom, I love you too, and I love Dad as well. I hope Mom and Dad will always be together. It was Yuqing who gave them a mother's love. They prefer Yuqing as their mother, and their longing for their biological mother has diminished. Yuqing held her two children in her arms, but in her heart, she cursed Ma Changfeng for being too cunning, knowing that she loved the two children the most. So he sent them to take the lead and speak well of him. The door opened, pushed open by Mu Changfeng. He came in holding a large bouquet of flowers. It was many times larger than the ones the two children had. The two children turned to look at their father, their eyes filled with resentment. Dad took both of them to the flower shop to buy bouquets, but the bouquets for the two of them were very small, while Dad's own bouquet was very large and beautiful. The ones leading the way were still the two siblings. Darling, you're awake. Does your head still hurt? Mu Changfeng came over holding the bouquet. Although the two siblings inwardly complained about the small bouquet their father had bought for them, they were sensible enough to know that the three of them, father and children, needed to work together to cheer up their mother. Mom, I'll take Yaya downstairs to play with brother Guli. Originally, Jiang Ruojuan and her husband were supposed to return to the villa with Guli today. However, after Ma Changfeng revealed his identity to Yuqing, she became very angry, worried. Jiang Ruojuan decided to stay a few more days, waiting until her son and daughter-in-law had reconciled before heading back to the villa. Qin Fan left with his younger sister. Before the siblings left, they secretly cheered their father on. After the children had gone, Mu Changfeng reached out and took the two small bouquets from Yuqing's hands, then handed her his large bouquet. A warm smile spread across his handsome face. Qing. I took the kids to the flower shop to pick this bouquet for you. I hope it brings you joy and brightens your day, just like blooming flowers. Yuqing looked up at him, remaining silent for a long time. Mu Changfeng kept his posture unchanged. After a long while, Yuqing took the bouquet and placed it on the bedside table, saying calmly, the two children were frightened. I don't want them to worry, and I truly cannot divorce you. This time, I can forgive you, but, Mu Changfeng, you must promise me that you will never lie to me again. If I find out you're still deceiving me in the future, even if you have the two children beg for mercy on your behalf, I will not forgive you. You are the eldest son of the wealthiest family. It's natural for you to suspect that those who approach you have ulterior motives. We had a whirlwind marriage with no emotional foundation, and you didn't trust me, so you needed to hide your identity to test me. I can understand that. And it's the main reason I'm willing to forgive you. Now that everything is out in the open, if you lie to me again, I won't be able to accept it. In a marriage, there must be mutual trust and honesty. I've even told you the things that hurt me the most, yet you still treated me like a fool, deceiving me at every turn. Also, you can be your big shot all you want, but my life, I intend to keep it unchanged. Don't expect me to stay at your house, playing the role of a dutiful wife and mother, being a lady of leisure who can't do anything. Yuqing could accept that her man was a wealthy heir, but she was unwilling to give up her career and return to the family as a full-time housewife because of it. I also don't want my current peaceful life to be disrupted, and I won't accept media interviews. Seeing that she was willing to accept the bouquet, Ma Changfeng felt half of his worries ease. Hearing Yuqing say she was willing to forgive him this time, his heart eased by another half. Qing, I agree to all your requests. You are my wife, Mu Changfeng, and whatever kind of life you want to live, I will be by your side. I promise, no media reporters will interview you and disrupt your peaceful life. He gave a greeting, and those paparazzi didn't dare to disturb her anymore. She could still live the peaceful life she desired. Do whatever you want to do. I won't ask you to stay at home as a full-time wife, taking care of the husband and children. However, when I have social engagements or attend banquets in the future, I hope you can accompany me as my wife. This is also the most basic duty of the young mistress of the Mu family. As the eldest daughter-in-law, she needed to socialize. Yuqing also knew that as the eldest daughter-in-law of the Mu family, it was impossible to do nothing, as the head of the Mu family in this generation. He had many social obligations. After marriage, to keep it from her, he probably turned down countless engagements. Alright, I agree to it. Yuqing did not mind accompanying him to social events. She wants to build a factory, which means stepping into the business world. And she will also need to negotiate deals and socialize with people. Honey, thank you. Mu Changfeng gratefully embraced Yuqing. Heaven knows how scared I was. Afraid that you would be angry and ignore me for a year or half a year. What are you afraid of? Your childhood sweetheart, the one you've always cherished, is back. There are plenty of women who like you. I'm not good looking enough and not worthy of you. Your beloved even said I'm not even fit to carry your shoes. Yuqing pushed Mu Changfeng away and declared assertively, next time you see Yu, take off your shoes and let me carry them to her. Let's see if I'm fit to carry your shoes or not, Mu Changfeng responded dotingly. Alright, next time I see her, I'll take off my shoes and let you carry them for me. Darling, Yu is not my first love. I must make this clear to you. I have no romantic feelings for her whatsoever. If she hadn't said those things to you, I wouldn't even have known she felt that way about me. How could she have such inappropriate thoughts? She's Yu's beloved wife. After learning that Yu actually had improper thoughts about him, Mu Changfeng disliked and detested her even more. Yu is sorry to Yu. Yu loved her so much and treated her so well. One could say he cherished her to the core. How did she treat Yu? Ring ring ring. Mu Changfeng's phone rang. Interrupting the couple's heart-to-heart conversation, Mu Changfeng pulled out his phone with clear annoyance. Seeing that the caller was Ouyang Wei, his expression softened slightly. And he answered the call in front of Yuqing. Changfeng, are you okay? Ouyang Wei first showed concern for his boss and friend over the phone. I'm doing just fine. If you're doing so well, why haven't you returned to the company? Mu Changfeng, what do I keep you senior managers around for? Can't I take a break? Ouyang Wei chuckled. You've had enough rest. Last night, I had someone knock Qin Wentian out and drew his blood, a whole big syringe's worth, enough for multiple DNA tests. If that's not enough, I can always draw another 2 syringes from him. Well done. I just love how Ouyang Wei deals with Qin Wentian in such a straightforward and ruthless way. Let me know when you plan to take the 2 children for a DNA test. Mu Changfeng suddenly fell silent. He was a bit afraid. Afraid that the 2 children might be Qin Wentian's. Chapter 343. Honey, I love you. Alright, I'll see if I have time to take them for a paternity test this afternoon, no matter how scared. We must find out whether the 2 children are Qin Tianyu's or Qin Wentian's. Alright, when you come out, send me a message, and I'll personally deliver Qin Wentian's blood sample to you. Ouyang Wei paused for a moment before saying, Changfeng, no matter what the result is, we have to accept it. The children are innocent. He was worried that if the 2 children turned out to be Qin Wentian's, Mu Changfeng wouldn't be able to accept it and might harm the children. Mu Changfeng also fell silent for a moment before saying, those are the children I adopted. I won't send them away. I just feel so upset. He now deeply despises Qin Wentian. If the 2 children were Qin Wentian's, Mu Changfeng would feel as if he had swallowed a mouthful of flies. But he couldn't bring himself to hurt the 2 children. They were the ones he had raised with his own hands, through thick and thin. In short, it's just very conflicting and deeply frustrating. I think they are Tianyu's children. Their temperaments are just like Tianyu's, smart and kind. They couldn't be Qin Wentian's offspring. Qin Wentian is so sinister. His genes are no good. If they were his, the 2 children would have inherited at least some of his malicious and vicious traits. Ouyang Wei said this to comfort Mu Changfeng, but also to reassure himself. Although he wasn't the one who adopted the 2 children, they had been under the care of him and the other monks since they were 3 months old. He had developed feelings for the 2 kids as well. Yes, they are Tianyu's. They must be Tianyu's children. Mu Changfeng hoped more than anyone that the child's biological father was Qin Tianyu. Let's not jump to conclusions. We'll know for sure once the DNA test results come out. You keep comforting your wife. I'm going to get busy. Once you've comforted her, I'm taking half a month off to relax. I've been working like a dog for you these past 2 months. I'm exhausted, Mu Changfeng said cheerfully. Alright, after ending the call, he didn't immediately put his phone back into his pocket. He looked at Yuqing, and she was also looking at him. Yuqing had heard every word of his conversation with Ouyang Wei. Aren't the two children Qin Tianyu's? Yu Qing asked in a low voice. Mu Changfeng remained silent for 2 minutes before speaking in a low voice. And Yu and Tianyu's eldest brother is Qin Wentian, the current president of the Qin group. Ouyang's people have noticed that the two of them seem to be acting suspiciously, overly intimate. There's suspicion that An Yu and Qin Wentian might have done something in the past. I asked An Yu about it, and she said Tianyu suffered from depression and committed suicide by jumping off a building, but Tianyu was a very cheerful person. And I never heard anything about him having depression. Why would he suddenly become so desperate as to abandon his elderly parents and 2 young children, choosing to jump to his death in the middle of a heavy rainstorm? If An Yu and Qin Wentian, if Tianyu found out, he definitely wouldn't have been able to accept it. Who knows how much he loved An Yu and how deeply he respected his older brother Qin Wentian. Just imagine, betrayed by both his brother and his wife at the same time. Who could endure that? Yu Qing was utterly stunned. Is An Yu having an affair with Qin Wentian? Qin Wentian is An Yu's brother-in-law. An Yu now has her eyes on Mu Changfeng. How many men does that woman have? Qin Tianyu loves An Yu so much. If he finds out that she has betrayed him, he definitely won't be able to accept it. It's possible that he might do something extreme in a moment of impulse. An Yu is really, Yu Qing really wanted to curse, to give her rival a piece of her mind. Do you suspect that Yeye and Fanfan are An Yu and Qin Wentian's children? Yes, I suspect it. The couple had nothing to hide now. Mu Changfeng admitted that he suspected the children were not his late friends. Tianyu is gone. After his cremation, his ashes were placed in Guangqing Cemetery. So it's not possible to do a paternity test anymore. We have to start with Qin Wentian. As long as we have the 2 children take a paternity test with Qin Wentian, we can find out the result. If the children aren't Qin Wentian's, then they must be Tianyu's, Yu Qing said. Didn't you say the children look a lot like your deceased friend? Mu Changfeng paused for a moment before replying. Tianyu and his brother look very similar too, so the 2 children also resemble Qin Wentian, especially Yeye, who looks the most like Tianyu, or, to put it another way, the most like Qin Wentian. He remembered the last time he ran into Qin Wentian at the hotel. The way Qin looked at Yeye was overly intense. Perhaps Qin Wentian also suspected the child was his. Qin Wentian is willing to cooperate with a paternity test. The matter of the 2 children quickly diverted Yu Qing's attention, and she no longer had the energy to resent Ma Changfeng's deception. He doesn't need to cooperate. Ouyang had someone knock Qin Wentian out last night and drew 2 syringes of his blood. Yu Qing, it can be done this way too, simple and straightforward. Just like President Ouyang. You want to take the 2 children for a paternity test this afternoon? Yes, the sooner we do it, the sooner we'll know the results, and we won't have to keep worrying about it. Qing, you must not let the 2 children know about this. Besides the 2 of us, don't tell a third person. If the children find out, it will cause them great harm. Mu Changfeng had put a lot of effort into raising the 2 children to be so sensible and adorable. He did not want them to suffer a devastating blow because of their background. Even if the children are to know the truth, it should only be when they have grown up and are mentally strong enough to face it. I won't say anything. I don't want to see the children get hurt either. I was very angry about you lying to me, but when the children told me they were afraid of us arguing, my heart softened. It's often said that parents arguing has the biggest impact and causes the most harm to children. For the sake of the child, I can understand why you hid your identity in the first place, so I'll forgive you this time. But don't let it happen again. Mu Changfeng knew that having the 2 children plead for him would be very effective. Still, he couldn't help but say sourly, Qing, we are husband and wife, meant to spend a lifetime together. The children will grow up and have their own families. Leaving our side, you need to put me, your husband, first. Yu Qing reached out and gently pinched both sides of his face, deliberately saying, I'll just put you last, just to annoy you. Ma Changfeng caught her 2 hands, holding them in his palms, and looked at her adoringly. Last is last, at least I've made it into your heart. As he spoke, he leaned in and kissed Yu Qing on her red lips. Darling, I love you. Sweet talk isn't worth a thing. Mu Changfeng immediately changed his tone. Then I'll prove my love for you with a lifetime of actions. My stomach is singing the empty city strategy right now. I'll go downstairs to bring some delicious food up for you. Mu Changfeng was about to leave. Forget it, I'll go downstairs and eat by myself, so my family won't worry. Her sister was already divorced. If she and Mu Changfeng had another emotional issue, their parents would be worried sick. Chapter 344, A Hasty Marriage. But the right man. A little over 10 minutes later, the young couple went downstairs together, hearing the footsteps. Jiang Ruojuan walked to the staircase and saw the couple coming down together. Her heart, which had been anxious for a whole day and night, finally settled. Qingqing. She called out her daughter-in-law's name with a smile. Mom. Yuqing, as usual, maintained the same attitude toward her mother-in-law. She had already forgiven Mu Changfeng, so there was no need to make the elders worry any further. Qingqing, is your head still hurting? Jiang Ruojuan asked with concern, after a good sleep. It doesn't hurt much anymore, Mom. I'm sorry for making you worry. When Yuqing came downstairs, Jiang Ruojuan affectionately took her daughter-in-law's hand and said sympathetically, don't drink so much in the future. A hangover is really unpleasant. If Changfeng has done something wrong to you, tell me, and I'll help you teach him a lesson. Qingqing, Mom needs to apologize to you. I also deceived you. Can you forgive me, even if they were just acting along with Mu Changfeng? Deceiving Yuqing is still a deception. Yuqing quickly said, Mom, I'm not angry anymore. After talking it out with Changfeng, I can understand his decision back then. We've made up and won't blame you. You were all forced by Changfeng. If there's anyone to blame, it's him. Getting drunk for him once is enough. I don't want to get drunk for him again in the future. It's too painful. Jiang Ruojuan, right in front of Yuqing, slapped Mu Changfeng's arm and said, that's right. It's all this kid's fault. If you're angry, take it out on him. Qingqing, let me teach you how to handle him so he'll cherish you for a lifetime. With that, she affectionately took Yuqing by the hand and walked away. Mu Changfeng rubbed the arm his mother had just patted and said, Mom, I'm your own flesh and blood. His mother's greatest skill in life was the art of managing her husband. She had his father completely under her thumb. Whenever she got angry and went back to her parents' home, his father would immediately raise the white flag and surrender. It seems mother is going to pass on her husband taming skills to Yuqing. Mu Changfeng watched the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law getting along as well as a mother and daughter, and chuckled softly. I'm completely at Qingqing's mercy for the rest of my life. He was willing. Turning around, Mu Changfeng entered the kitchen. He brought out the breakfast that was being kept warm on the stove for Yuqing. It's almost time for lunch at this hour, but Yuqing is hungry. So let her have something to eat first to tide her over. The young couple making up is what both families' elders are most happy to see. Learning that her brother-in-law is actually the eldest son of the wealthiest family, Xu Yuyun was both shocked and happy for her sister. The sister is luckier than her. Mistaken identity, wrong marriage, but still married the right man. And as for her, the man she was once crazy in love with and insisted on marrying is now separated from her. However, Xu Yuyun has no regrets. The two sisters jointly invested in building a processing factory. She was busy with the factory construction in town when she unexpectedly ran into Dong Xinyu, who had just had an ultrasound at the hospital and was shopping in town. That insufferable former sister-in-law proudly told Xu Yujiao that Dong Jiaming had found a job as a manager at the Fu Corporation, where he had won the favor of the boss, Mr. Fu. She bragged that his soon-to-be wife, Fu Lingling, was the daughter of the Fu family, and that once her brother married her, he would lead the entire Dong family to immense wealth. She claimed that the Dong family would soon be richer than the Xu family and that their lives would only get better and better. Dong Xinyu also cursed Xu Yuyun, saying that she would never be able to marry again after leaving Dong Jiaming, and cursed that Xu Yuyun's investments would fail, losing all her savings. In short, she just couldn't stand to see Xu Yuyun doing well, for a family like the Dongs. It was better for Xu Yuyun to leave early. Anyway, the custody of the child goes to her. The alimony has also been paid in a lump sum. Xu Yuyun doesn't care about what happens to Dong Jiaming in the future. After learning that her brother-in-law was the eldest son of the wealthiest family, Xu Yuyun felt relieved that she had gotten divorced. Otherwise, if the Dong family had found out about Mu Changfeng's true identity, they would have tried every means to use her to gain benefits. She didn't want to cause her sister to have a hard time in her in-laws' family because of her. The young couple was fine, so Jiang Ruojuan and her husband decided to go home in the afternoon, taking Jiu Lai with them. The old lady didn't want to leave. Mu Geng said to his mother, Mom, have you gotten so used to staying at your in-laws' place? Back home, you can do whatever you want. We, your sons, have never restricted your freedom. At the villa, the old lady was like the Empress Dowager. The Grand Matriarch, her children and grandchildren are all filial to her. Even her daughters-in-law hold her in high regard as their mother-in-law. You haven't experienced the poorest era, so you wouldn't understand. Mom just enjoys staying at the in-laws' house. As long as they don't ask me to leave, I'll stay and help Ching Ching raise the chickens, collect the eggs, and look after the house. Although the elderly lady was born into a prestigious and wealthy family, she experienced the decline of her family's fortunes and thus lived through the hardships of poverty. It was only through the efforts of her brothers that the family was able to rebuild their wealth later on. She just loves living with the Shu family. In her free time, she enjoys reminiscing about the past with the elderly folks in the village, sharing stories from those days. When she's busy, she tends to the chickens and ducks she raises in the orchard. In short, to put it in a nutshell, the old lady is so content that she doesn't even think of going back. She and the Shu family's elderly lady get along like sisters. Mu Gang. Alright then, when Changfeng and his wife move back to live with us, let's see if Mom still has the nerve to stay at her in-laws' place without leaving. The old lady said with a smile, I'll just let my grandson take care of me in my old age. Wherever Changfeng lives, I'll live there too. Yuqing's orchard is in Wangnyo village, and her processing plant is in the town. Her career is all in her hometown, so it's impossible for her to leave Wangnyo village in the short term. Since she is here, and Ma Changfeng is a man devoted to his wife, he will naturally have the nerve to live at his in-laws' house. The old lady, at her age, feels that her face is thicker than a chopping board and isn't afraid of being laughed at by others. After you two go back, have the housekeeper send me some food and drinks. If I stay at my in-laws' place for too long, freeloading will make me feel very embarrassed. Mu Gang complained about his mother. If Mom feels embarrassed, she should just come home with us. Get lost. Mu Gang looked helpless. In the end, only Mu Gang, his wife, and Jiu Lai left the Shu family. After seeing off her in-laws, Yuqing took the two children and followed Ma Changfeng back to the city. She used the excuse of settling the bill at the Grand Hotel in Guangcheng. Not daring to let her parents know that she and her husband were taking the children for a DNA test, Ma Changfeng drove, taking his wife and children back to the city in his Rolls-Royce. On the way, Yuqing received a call from her close friend. Lin Xiaojun cautiously asked her friend, Ching Ching, how are things between you and our CEO? Yuqing tilted her head to look at Mu Changfeng, who was driving intently, and replied, we didn't fight. I know you two wouldn't fight. Will you forgive the CEO? You won't file for divorce, will you? Ching Ching, if you need some time to cool off, I can take a few more days off and go on a trip with you. We can get away from the CEO and think carefully about the future. Whatever you do, don't act impulsively. Lin Xiaojun hoped that her friend and the great CEO could live happily together. Chapter 345, Only Love Leads to Understanding. Yuqing was deeply moved. Having Lin Xiaojun as a true friend in this lifetime is her good fortune. 5 years ago, she was branded with the shame of plagiarism by the Zhuang family and their daughter. Many classmates and friends who had been close to her distanced themselves, some even joining the Zhuang family's online trolls in accusing and insulting her, saying she was desperate for fame. Despite having considerable talent, she chose to plagiarize instead of relying on her own abilities, and what's worse, she plagiarized her mentor's daughter. It was utterly excessive. Like a wolf biting the hand that feeds it, but Lin Xiaojun always stood by her side, believing in her, facing all the slander thrown at her together, comforting her, and encouraging her. Lin Xiaojun firmly believed that she would not plagiarize. After experiencing the incident of being framed for plagiarism, Yuqing saw through it all. After leaving that circle, returning to her hometown to contract an orchard and become a fruit farmer, she only maintained contact with Lin Xiaojun. Other former friends were no longer in touch privately. I didn't act impulsively, she replied, to avoid worrying her friend. I've already handled the matter between me and Changfeng. Xiaojun, you don't need to worry about me, just focus on your work. I'm heading back to the city with Changfeng now. On the road, if you're free tonight, I'd like to invite you and President Mu to dinner. Lin Xiaojun readily agreed. Sure. I'll let President Mu know. We can talk more when we meet tonight. I'm relieved to hear that you two have made up. I've been worried these past couple of days. Go to work with peace of mind. See you tonight. Okay. Lin Xiaojun hung up the phone with relief. She knew Yuqing could handle emotional issues well. Yuqing had always been a very rational person. Just as Lin Xiaojun put down her phone, the door to the general manager's office opened. Mu Changze walked out from inside and went straight to her desk. Lin Xiaojun thought he had something to instruct, so she quickly stood up and respectfully addressed him. President Mu. Mu Changze looked at her deeply and asked in a low voice, "Are they okay?" Lin Xiaojun blinked, then quickly responded. From the tone of Yuqing's voice, she and the president should be fine. Yuqing is a reasonable person, as long as the president explains clearly and gives a convincing reason. She will understand and forgive him. Yuqing said that she and the CEO are on their way back to the city and invited us to dinner tonight. President Mu, the dinner tonight, Mu Changze replied without hesitation, let's reschedule tonight's dinner for tomorrow evening. Since it's the first time our sister-in-law is treating us, we should definitely show our appreciation. That's President Mu's sister-in-law. Mu Changze pressed his lips together, stared at Lin Xiaojun for a long moment. And then, without saying a word, returned to his office. After Lin Xiaojun waited for him to close the office door, she muttered, "She was originally your sister-in-law anyway. Yuqing is my good sister, my best friend, not my sister-in-law." She had thought about turning her good friend into her sister-in-law. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. They could only be good sisters for life. Sitting back down, Lin Xiaojun notified the executives who were supposed to have dinner with Mu Changze tonight that the dinner would be rescheduled for tomorrow evening. It is said that after Mu Changfeng and his wife returned to the city with their 2 children, they went straight to the testing center. Ouyang Wei was already waiting there. Fearing media attention, he had deliberately disguised himself and arranged for people to keep an eye out for paparazzi, ensuring that Mu Changfeng's presence at the testing center would not be discovered. If the media were to report on it, who knows what kind of uproar it might cause. Mu Changfeng held his daughter's hand, while Yuqing held their son's, and they walked into the testing center. Changfeng. Ouyang Wei saw a family of 4 and quickly waved his hand. "Madam," Ouyang Wei called Yuqing again. Yuqing smiled and said, "Just call me Yuqing, President Ouyang." She had always had a good impression of Ouyang Wei. Before she knew the true identity of the person by her side, she thought it was Ouyang Wei who had helped her a lot. Only now did I realize that the person helping her was actually her man. Ouyang Wei always listens to Mu Changfeng. Ouyang Wei glanced at Mu Changfeng twice but did not change his wording. Mu Changfeng is a very jealous man. He even gets jealous of the 2 children. Ouyang Wei feels that if he were to call Xu Yuqing by her name directly, his friend might get jealous too. "Uncle Ouyang." The 2 children greeted him sweetly. Ouyang Wei picked up Qinyu and said with a smile, "Does Yaya miss Uncle Ouyang?" "Of course I do. Uncle Ouyang misses Yaya very much." Ouyang Wei and Qinyu bumped heads playfully for a while. Then he picked up Qinyu and walked together with Changfeng and his wife. Mu Changfeng told his son that they would draw a little blood from him and his sister later for a checkup. Qin Fan asked, "Dad, is it like the blood test we had at kindergarten for the physical examination?" The kindergarten had conducted a physical examination for the children once. So when Qin Fan heard about the blood test, he thought it was for a checkup. "Yes, Dad, I will be very brave and won't cry." Qinyu also said, "I won't cry either." Mu Changfeng praised the siblings for their bravery. Yuqing looked at the innocent faces of the 2 children, her heart aching with bitterness. Yet she couldn't reveal the truth. After both children had their blood drawn, Ouyang Wei whispered to Mu Changfeng, "Even with the fastest expedited processing, it will take a few hours to get the results. Normally, it would take a few working days. No need for expedited processing, just follow the normal procedure. Aren't you in a hurry to know the results?" Mu Changfeng watched the 2 children being led ahead by Yuqing, fell silent for a moment, and then said in a low voice, "Give me a few days to mentally prepare myself, just in case." Ouyang Wei patted his shoulder understandingly and said, "The chances are 50-50. No matter what, we have to face it. Although that bastard's genes aren't great, human nature is inherently good at birth. The 2 children were raised and educated by you. And I believe they won't turn out like that scoundrel. I hope they're not his." Mu Changfeng sighed softly. "We'll know the results in a few days. You and your wife won't keep arguing, will you?" She said she could understand me, but she insisted that I not ask her to return to being a full-time housewife. She wants to continue growing fruit, selling it, and running a processing factory. I support her in whatever she wants to do, as long as she is happy. She also promised me that when I need her to accompany me to social events, she will fulfill her responsibilities as a wife. Ma Changfeng looked at the beautiful figure with a face full of tenderness and a gaze filled with affection, saying, I am very satisfied with this outcome. Heaven knows how afraid I was that she would ask for a divorce in anger. I even thought that if she really brought it up, I would shamelessly demand an exorbitant compensation for her youth, making it impossible for her to afford it and thus preventing the divorce. Fortunately, it didn't come to that. Ouyang Wei, if Mu Changfeng really did that, although it wouldn't lead to an immediate divorce, it would deepen the conflict between the couple. Your wife has fallen in love with you, otherwise, she wouldn't have forgiven you. Ouyang Wei hit the nail on the head. Shu Yuqing has fallen in love with Mu Changfeng. Chapter 346, Same Thoughts. Mu Changfeng beamed with joy upon hearing this. I like hearing you say that. Ouyang Wei teased him. You're not the same Mu Changfeng you used to be. Now you're a wife slave, henpecked. As long as my wife doesn't leave me, being a wife slave is fine, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Mu Changfeng also admitted that he had changed a lot, all for Yuqing's sake. Tomorrow, you should return to your normal life. Got it, I'll give you half a month off. Mu Changfeng laughed and said, I'll give you half a month off. You should go on some dates, find a good woman to marry, and put an end to your single life. That way, your mom won't keep complaining to me, saying I'm giving you too much work and leaving you no time to date. A girl who could make me feel so moved that I'd want to marry her probably hasn't been born yet. Mu Changfeng chuckled. Don't speak so confidently. One day, you'll fall hard, just like I did. Ouyang Wei. After leaving the appraisal center, Ouyang Wei continued to work tirelessly for Mu Changfeng at the company. Mu Changfeng then took his wife and children back to a villa under his name. It was a place where he and the two children had often lived before. He instructed the butler to go to the rental at Ziyuan Court to terminate the lease and move all the belongings from the rental back to the villa. The villa where Mu Changfeng often stayed was also designed in a classical garden style. While strolling through the villa and observing its layout, Yuqing asked him, Was this also designed for you by Zhuang Xini? No, Mu Changfeng denied. I have an independent courtyard in the mountain villa. I think the designer did a great job with my courtyard, and I really liked it, so I replicated it here. As he spoke, he held Yuqing's hand. Ching. The renovation design for our mountain villa back then was your work. This place also uses your design, so from now on, it will be our home. It was as if Yuqing had designed a beautiful home for herself 5 years in advance. I still can't prove my innocence. I've been having someone investigate that incident from back then. Whether it's because the Zhuang father and daughter were highly skilled or because too much time has passed, we still haven't found any useful information. Ouyang, and I suspect that Zhuang didn't steal your design drawings but might have installed a camera in your residence, aimed directly at your workstation. That way, every stroke you drew, Zhuang could see it in real time, essentially keeping pace with your progress. Once you finished, she could finish too, and since she submitted the drawings and proposal first, you fell behind her. When she accused you of plagiarism, you were left with no way to clear your name. No matter how much you tried to explain, Yuqing paused and turned her head to look at Changfeng. What's wrong? Yuqing withdrew her gaze from him and looked into the distance, saying, I've also considered that possibility, but by the time I thought of it, it was already too late. I searched my residence at the time but couldn't find any surveillance devices like cameras. Zhuang Xini was able to get this far. She must have had an accomplice. That accomplice must be very familiar with me to have schemed against me so effectively, making it impossible for me to prove my innocence. I was thinking that if I could find out who helped Zhuang Xini, I might be able to clear my name. Ching, Mu Changfeng tentatively suggested. I'm just saying it's possible, but could it be Secretary Lin? Impossible. Yuqing dismissed the idea without hesitation. Xiaojun would never betray me. We've been friends for years, so close we could share a pair of pants. She's not that kind of person. Yuqing would suspect anyone but Lin Xiaojun. But she is the one who knows you best and the one you are least guarded against. Mu Changfeng knew that Yuqing and Lin Xiaojun were close friends with an unbreakable bond. He understood that saying such things would upset Yuqing, but he still said it. Sometimes, the one who hurts you the deepest is your closest friend. With a serious and resolute expression, Yuqing said, Changfeng, I believe it wasn't Xiaojun, it absolutely couldn't have been her. You can say this once, but don't say it a second time. If you say it again, be careful, I might just turn against you. Xiaojun trusts me, and I trust Xiaojun. I would doubt anyone but her. Changfeng, my friendship with Xiaojun is just like yours with President Ouyang. If she weren't a person of good character, could your cousin have fallen in love with her? Your cousin is someone with extremely high standards. Mu Changzi is a naturally aloof person and a proud son of heaven. If Lin Xiaojun didn't have good character, Mu Changzi wouldn't have developed feelings for her, not to mention acting. Even if Lin Xiaojun tried to hide her true self deeply in front of Mu Changzi, he would still be able to see through it. Alright, I won't doubt Secretary Lin anymore in the future. Mu Changfeng quickly admitted his mistake. He didn't know Lin Xiaojun very well, but he trusted his cousin's judgment. Anyone who could win Mu Chang's affection couldn't be too bad. Ching, think carefully. Who else was close to you back then? Give me their names, and I'll investigate them one by one. Screening to see if I can find the insider who helped that Zhuang person harm you. As long as we uncover the insider, the truth of this matter will come to light. Okay, Yuqing did not refuse her husband's help, she said. I hope that person has kept the evidence. Otherwise, even if we dig her out, without evidence, Zhuang Xini could claim it's slander and false accusation. Mu Changfeng held her hand tightly, fingers intertwined, and walked slowly. Ching. I believe the truth will come out one day. I hope so too. Although she had left that circle, she still wanted to clear her name of the plagiarism accusation. Jiang Ruojuan and her husband returned to the Mu family villa. After getting out of the car, Jiu Lai first called Yuqing to let her know he had arrived home and reassure her. After that, he went to the greenhouse to find his mother. In the greenhouse, seeing his busy mother, Jiu Lai called out, "Mom." Bai Nuanuan stood up, turned her head. And upon seeing her son, she was very happy. "Eli, you're back." Jiu Lai walked over with his backpack. "Mom, I'm back. Auntie Shu invited the gentleman and madam to bring me back together." Bai Nuanuo took off her mud-covered gloves and was about to take the backpack off her son's back, smiling as she said, "It's good to be back. Mom will take you home first." "Mom, I can carry it myself." Jiu Lai wouldn't let his mother help him with the backpack. "Have you let Aunt Shu know you're safe?" Her son didn't need her help, and Bai Nuan didn't force it. Her son was independent and self-reliant. With her son around, she didn't have to do any housework after getting off work every day. He would tidy up the house and cook the meals, so all she needed to do was eat and rest. "I've already let her know." "Mom, Aunt Shu found out about the young master's identity. She was very angry and even got drunk, but luckily, by the time I left, they had made up." Bai Nuan asked with concern, "Are they really reconciled?" "It's good that she knows. The young mistress is a good woman. And it's not right for the young master to keep lying to her. It's true that we've made up. If we hadn't, my wife wouldn't have been able to come back with peace of mind." Bai Nuanuan thought it made sense and felt relieved, then asked her son, "Did you see your dad?" Chapter 347. "So that's how it is." Jiu Lai nodded. "I did." Bai Nuan gave a soft acknowledgement and walked alongside her son. After leaving the villa, Bai Nuan spoke up again, asking her son, "How is your father doing? Did he see you?" Jiu Lai turned his head to look at his mother and asked, "Mom, you still think about Dad, don't you? We've known each other since childhood, growing up together. Saying I've forgotten him would be a lie. Unless I lost my memory, I would still remember him. My dad is fine. He didn't see me. Uncle Changfeng took me to his company and had me sit in the milk tea shop at the entrance. Uncle Changfeng parked the car right in front of his company and didn't do much. After a while, he came out of the company. I sat in the milk tea shop and could see my dad through the glass window, though it was a bit far and I couldn't see very clearly. Later, Uncle Changfeng took a front-facing photo of him, developed it into a picture, and gave it to me to bring back." Jiu Lai turned his backpack to the front, unzipped it, and took out a photo. The man in the photo was none other than Jiu Chen. He handed the photo of Jiu Chen to Bai Nuan. Bai Nuan took the photo, glanced at it a few times, then returned it to her son, saying, "He hasn't changed much from before, just looks a lot more mature, but he seems very gloomy." Jiu Chen had been searching for Nuan for 10 years without finding any trace of his beloved. Longing and regret tormented him. It would be strange if he could be happy. After Uncle Changfeng took his photo, he quickly drove away. It wasn't until he entered the company that Uncle Changfeng came back to pick me up. From start to finish, he had no idea I was there, and he never noticed me. After saying this, Jiu Lai couldn't help adding, I wonder how Uncle Changfeng managed to call him out without letting him know I was there. Bai Nuan said as she walked. The eldest young master doesn't need to do anything. He just has to go to the GU Corporation and stand at the entrance for a while. Your father will naturally come out of curiosity. They are arch rivals in business, and under normal circumstances, the eldest young master wouldn't appear at the entrance of the GU Corporation. If he goes, it would be major news for the GU Corporation. Someone will naturally inform your father. Everyone has a sense of curiosity, and so does your father. He will want to know the reason why the young master suddenly went to the GU group, so he will come out of the company. Jiu Lai. So that's how it is. He had been wondering what method Mu Changfeng used to trick his father into coming out, but he didn't dare to ask Mu Changfeng. After hearing his mother's explanation, Jiu Lai finally understood. Did you have a good time at Aunt Shu's house? Bai Nuanuo changed the subject. It was great. Aunt Shu's orchard is huge. And the old lady keeps many chickens there. Yeah, her brother, and I often ran around the orchard or played hide and seek. There were also plenty of fruits to eat, and Aunt Shu's family is very kind. Mom, I also made a new friend. His name is Weiwei, and he's 3 years younger than me. He really looks up to me. His Aunt Shu's nephew. His parents are also divorced, and he lives with his mom. Oh, and Mom, Yea's biological mother came back. Upon hearing this, Bai Nuanui exclaimed in surprise, Yea's biological mother is back. Bai Nuanui knew that the biological mother of Qin Yu and her brother was the second young mistress of the Qin family. She had even interacted with Yu before. In fact, Yu had once been her client. Yes, she's back. She went to Aunt Shu's orchard to find her. No one knows what she said to Aunt Shu, but that same day, Aunt Shu drank a lot, got drunk, and had a conflict with Uncle Changfeng. Everyone is very worried. It's also because Yea's biological mother returned that Uncle Changfeng's identity was exposed. Bai Nuan finally understood. She had thought that Mu Changfeng had confessed his identity to Shu Yuqing himself, but it turned out that Yu had returned, which exposed Mu Changfeng's identity. Mom, if Yea's biological mother comes back, will she take Fanfan and Yea back? Jiu Lai was also worried that Yu would try to reclaim the 2 children after her return, which would make it difficult for him to see Fanfan and Yea again. Well, I don't know either. I haven't been in that circle for a long time. However, when the eldest young master first adopted Fanfan and Yea, there were rumors that Yea's biological mother was his first love. But I can see that the eldest young master is truly sincere towards the eldest young mistress. The person who spread those rumors back then was also reprimanded by the eldest young master. Even if people still speculate in their hearts, they wouldn't dare to let the eldest young master hear it. Even if Yu returns, the eldest young master probably won't easily give the 2 children back to her. She was heartless enough to abandon them without a second thought back then. She doesn't deserve to be a mother again. Bai Nuan is also a mother, although she had considered having an abortion when she first found out she was pregnant, after deciding to keep the child. Her love for the baby was wholehearted, without a trace of falseness. She simply couldn't bring herself to give birth to a child and then abandon it. If you don't want to raise or care for them, you shouldn't have had them in the first place. Qin Fan and Qin Yu are such adorable children. Bai Nuan couldn't understand how Yu could heartlessly abandon her children and run away. Ah Lai, you don't need to worry about this matter. Worrying won't help. We're just ordinary workers in the Mu family and have no right to interfere in the master's affairs. After a pause, Bai Nuan added, I believe the eldest young master won't easily give up custody of Fanfan and Yu. Jiu Lai also knew he had no say in this matter. No matter how mature he was for his age, he was still just a 9-year-old child. Besides, his own father and Mu Changfeng were sworn enemies. Mom, after Uncle Changfeng finds out that my biological father is his archenemy, will he kick us out? No, he won't. With the young mistress here, he won't drive us away. But if your biological father finds out where we are and comes looking for us, Lai, we'll have to leave. We can't let your father come here every day and bother everyone. Bai Nuan knew Jiu Chen well. If he found out where she was, he would definitely come every day. I don't think he'll come. His mother, my biological grandmother, once visited Aunt Shu and talked to her for a long time. I was there, and I heard everything clearly. That old lady said she only wants the grandson and won't allow Mom to enter their GU family. Mom, wherever you go, I'll go with you. I absolutely won't be separated from you, GU Lai said earnestly, with a grandmother like that. I don't want my father either. I just want to see him once to know what he looks like, and that's enough. He only wanted to know what his biological father looked like. He never intended to acknowledge him as his father. Just thinking about the things Mrs. GU said made GU Lai furious. Now he could also understand why his mother had brought him to live here. Only under the protection of the Mu family could the mother and son live a stable life. Chapter 348, GU Chen comes to a realization. Bai Nuanuan remained silent. 10 years ago, Mrs. GU couldn't accept her as a daughter-in-law, and 10 years later, Mrs. GU still couldn't accept her. She knew it would come to this. Mom, Lai, Mom is fine. If your father doesn't find his way here, we can continue our lives as mother and son. But if he finds out and comes looking, I still hope you'll go back with your father, Bai Nuanuan said calmly. Your father is the head of the GU group. He can provide you with a better life and a better education, far better than what I can offer. She couldn't bear to part with her son, but for the sake of his future, she was willing to endure the pain of separation. If GU Lai returns to the GU family to acknowledge his roots, he would be GU Chen's only child. Mrs. GU does not like Nuan and cannot accept her as her daughter-in-law, but Mrs. GU is also a traditional elder who values bloodline. She would not allow the GU family's bloodline to be left outside. If she didn't know, it would be one thing. But once she finds out, she will definitely want her grandson back. Whether Bai Nuan agrees or not, a custody battle with GU Chen over GU Lai is unavoidable. Rather than fighting to the point of bloodshed, treating each other like enemies, it would be better for her to take the initiative to persuade her son to return to the GU family and acknowledge his roots. GU Lai would definitely have a better life with GU Chen than with her. She is now just a gardener at the Mu family villa, with limited income and unable to provide a better life or education for her son. If he stays with her, the people he interacts with will only be the workers at the Mu family villa. If he returns to his biological father's side, GU Chen will surely devote himself to nurturing GU Lai, allowing him to become one of Guangqing's outstanding young talents in the future. I don't want to. I want to stay with Mom. GU Lai is just like his father, also stubborn. Once he sets his mind on something, he won't change it. He absolutely refuses to be separated from his mother. Even if his biological father is wealthy, he doesn't want to go with him. Mom, please don't give up on me. Don't push me to them. Okay, I may be sensible, but I'm still a child, and I also need my mother's love and companionship. Bai Nuanuan's heart ached. She silently wrapped her arm around her son's shoulder but said nothing more. Let's take it one step at a time. Meanwhile, at the GU Corporation, exhausted, GU Chen would occasionally doze off at his desk when he couldn't hold on any longer. In his sleep, he dreamed of his Nuan, but as he chased after her, she suddenly disappeared. A knock on the door jolted GU Chen awake from his dream. After waking, he remained lost in the dream for a moment before finally snapping back to reality and responding in a low voice. Come in. The heavy office door was pushed open, and the secretary entered with a document. Mr. GU, this document requires your signature. The secretary placed the document in front of GU Chen. As GU Chen picked it up to review, the secretary added, Mr. GU, there's news related to Mr. Mu. What news? GU Chen and Mu Changfeng were business rivals. Yet they kept a close watch on each other. Mu Zong is married. GU Chen suddenly looked up at his secretary and asked in disbelief, Mu Changfeng is married. Is the news reliable? When did he get married? How come there hasn't been any news about it? Which family's daughter is his wife? He really kept it under wraps. Even he didn't know. Absolutely reliable. As for when they got married, it's not entirely clear, but it's known to be at least a month or two ago. His wife, President GU. You've also met. It's that fruit farmer, Xu Yuqing. GU Chen pestered Xu Yuqing for a while, treating her as a substitute for Bai Nuanuan. As GU Chen's secretary, it was only natural to know about this. GU Chen was dumbfounded. Mu Changfeng's wife turned out to be Xu Yuqing. How could it be Xu Yuqing? Logically speaking, The two of them should never have crossed paths. Recalling when he had people keep an eye on Xu Yuqing, his men were ambushed and had sacks thrown over their heads. So he quickly withdrew them. He had been speculating about who Xu Yuqing's backer was. In fact, he had suspected the Mu family, but he just couldn't figure out the relationship between Yuqing and Mu Changfeng. That's right, the two sets of twins by Xu Yuqing's side are about 4 years old. Mu Changfeng adopted the children of Qin Tianyu and An Yu, and those two children are also about 4 years old now. This matches up. He always wondered why Xu Yuqing's two children didn't look like their mother at all, and he also felt that the two children seemed familiar to him. Now he finally understands, because the two children are not Xu Yuqing's, they don't look like her at all. Those two children are actually Qin Tianyu and An Yu's. Even though Mu Changfeng has protected the children well and rarely lets outsiders see them, the two children resemble their biological father. Qin Tianyu is the second son of the Qin family and was originally the successor to the Qin group. Ji Yuchen has met Qin Tianyu countless times, which is why he found the two children familiar when he saw them. However, he hadn't considered that it might be Qin Tianyu's child, after all. The two children were calling Xu Yuqing mom, and he never imagined that Xu Yuqing would be Mu Changfeng's wife. How did Mu Changfeng and Xu Yuqing meet and fall in love? Ji Yuchen was extremely curious. President Ji Yu is also surprised. Right, I was very surprised when I heard the news. President Mu hasn't made an official announcement yet, but I believe it will be announced soon. Ji Yuchen hummed in agreement. I really didn't expect Mu Changfeng's wife to be Xu Yuqing. He has good taste. Xu Yuqing is a wonderful girl. Xu Yuqing. Ji Yuchen suddenly remembered what Xu Yuqing had told him about meeting Bai Nuan. How did Xu Yuqing know what Bai Nuan looked like when she told him? She was very certain that she had seen Bai Nuan. It was only when she was asked again later that her reply became ambiguous. Mu Changfeng was a few years younger than him, but he knew Nuan. Perhaps it was Mu Changfeng who saw Nuan first and told Xu Yuqing. Where will Mu Changfeng meet Nuan? And does he know about the existence of his son, Ji Yu Lai? 10 years ago, after Nuan left, Ji Yuchen turned the entire Guangqing upside down but still couldn't find her. But there was one place he hadn't searched, and that was the Mu family manor. He had people watching the Da Mu group for 2 years, confirming that Bai Nuan was not among those coming and going, before withdrawing them. The Mu family manor is the ancestral home of the Mu family, with an extremely high level of security. As Mu Changfeng's arch-rival, he had no way and did not dare to turn the Mu family manor upside down. Could the warm mother and son be hiding in the Mu family villa? Thinking of this, Ji Yuchen didn't even sign the documents. He tossed them aside, stood up, and walked around his desk to leave. Mr. Ji Yu, where are you going? The documents haven't been signed yet. The secretary quickly picked up the document and hurried after Ji Yuchen. Ji Yuchen said as he walked, I'll sign it when I have time. I have something urgent to attend to right now and need to go out. He is going to the Mu family villa. Chapter 349, Ji Yuchen's visit. The secretary followed Ji Yuchen out of the office, watching him walk away. Everything was fine just a moment ago, and I don't know what suddenly came to Mr. Gu's mind that he left without even signing the important documents. Ji Yuchen didn't alert anyone and drove alone to the Mu family villa. Along the way, he was both nervous and afraid. If he found Nuan at the Mu family villa, would she be willing to see him? Can you forgive him? She has punished him for 10 years, enough is enough. Ji Yuchen realized that Nuan and her son were most likely at the Mu family villa, and he immediately headed there as well, though he didn't know exactly where they were staying. When he arrived at the Mu family villa, he was naturally stopped by the security guards at the entrance and couldn't enter the villa grounds. Ji Yuchen rolled down the car window and said to the guard, Ji Yuchen is here to visit. Please announce my arrival. Hearing it was Ji Yuchen. The security guard looked surprised but immediately notified Uncle Chang. Uncle Chang was also very surprised. Ji Yuchen and their eldest young master are business rivals. What wind blows today? Bringing Ji Yuchen to the Mu family villa, Uncle Chang first sought Jiang Ruojuan's permission. Jiang Ruojuan directly refused to meet, saying to Uncle Chang, Uncle Chang, go out and ask what General Manager Ji Yu is doing here. Tell him that Changfeng is not at home, and if there's anything, he should go to the company to find Changfeng. The two groups are business rivals, and privately, they are also bitter enemies. Jiang Ruojuan has never had any interaction with Mrs. Gu. She also dislikes Mrs. Gu, finding her overly domineering, stubborn, and arrogant. Mrs. Gu looks down on anyone whose status or position is lower than hers. When Gu Chen and Bai Nuan first fell in love, Jiang Ruojuan, upon hearing the news, predicted that it would end in a breakup. After all, Mrs. Gu was not an easy mother-in-law to get along with. She was arrogant and placed great importance on the Gu family's reputation. How could she ever agree to her son marrying the daughter of a servant, even though Bai Nuan was quite accomplished a decade ago and could be considered successful in her career? But her parents had worked as domestic helpers for the Gu family, and Mrs. Gu would look down on her for that. No matter how outstanding she was, Mrs. Gu would never accept her. Yes. Upon receiving the response from the lady of the house, Uncle Zhong knew exactly what to do. After Uncle Chang left, Jiang Ruojuan muttered, "The sun might rise from the west tomorrow. Gu Chen is actually paying a visit." She had no idea that the ordinary gardener in her household was the very Bai Nuan whom Gu Chen had been searching for over a decade. Jiang Ruojuan thought that since Gu Chen had arrived, she should call her son to let him know, so she made a call to Mu Changfeng. "Mom." Mu Changfeng and Yu Qing sat on a swing chair, watching the two children playing and having fun not far away. "Mom, what's wrong? You and Dad are home, right?" Jiu Lai reported his safe arrival home to Shu Yuqing. "I've been home for a while. I heard Jiu Lai report his safe return to Qingqing, so I didn't send you a message." Changfeng, Jiu Chen came. "I don't know why he suddenly showed up at our house. I didn't see him and asked Uncle Chang to go out and inquire about his purpose." "Have you had any recent conflicts?" Jiu Chen went to our house. "Did he say anything?" Mu Changfeng was also quite surprised, speculating about the reason for Jiu Chen's sudden visit to the Mu family villa. It reminded him of the time he brought Jiu Lai to see Jiu Chen. Back then, just standing at the entrance of the Jiu Corporation without doing anything was enough to draw Jiu Chen out. "Didn't say," Yu Qing said from the side. Could it be that Jiu Chen knew Jiu Lai was going back to the villa with their parents, so he followed them? After a moment's thought, Mu Changfeng also considered it possible. He said to his mother, "Mom, Jiu Chen is targeting Bai Nuan and her son. You don't need to worry about him. Just have Uncle Chang drive him away." "Bai Nuan? Is Bai Nuan at our house?" "Jiu Chen, Jiu Lai, Changfeng, is Jiu Lai Jiu Chen's son, as the lady of the Mu family." Jiang Ruojuan is not only skilled at managing her husband but also intelligent, and she quickly thought of Jiu Lai. After all, the name Jiu Lai is just one character different from Jiu Chen. Jiu Lai is indeed Jiu Chen's son, and his mother is Bai Nuan. "I only found out recently." Jiang Ruojuan, "Is Aunt Jiu actually Bai Nuan? How can that be? Then, doesn't that mean our family has been helping Jiu Chen support his woman and son? Aunt Jiu has worked in our home for 10 years. Seeing that she was a poor widow with a child, I asked Changshu to take extra care of her and her son. She is actually Bai Nuan." Jiang Ruojuan never expected that their family had been helping Jiu Chen take care of Bai Nuan for 10 years. Mu Changfeng, however, didn't feel upset. He said, "Mom, Bai Nuan has been working in our home, and she works very diligently. She relies on her own work to support herself and her son. She has contributed and hasn't just received our care for nothing. It can't be said that we've been helping Jiu Chen raise his son. Their family merely gave Bai Nuan a job and a place to settle down." "True. So, did Jiu Chen find out about Jiu Lai and come looking on purpose?" Mu Changfeng pondered for a moment and said, "Perhaps the news that Qingqing and I are married reached Jiu Chen's ears, and he figured it out. He went looking on his own. He didn't get to see Jiu Lai." "Mom, you don't need to worry about him. If he and Bai Nuan are still fated, they will meet again." Mu Changfeng felt a bit regretful that Jiu Chen had so quickly suspected his Mu family villa. He had wanted to see Jiu Chen suffer from not being able to find Bai Nuan. Thinking of Mrs. Gu's attitude, Mu Changfeng felt that even if Jiu Chen realized it, what difference would it make? Bai Nuan would never go back with Jiu Chen. And Mrs. Jiu still wouldn't accept her. Jiu Chen's pain wouldn't lessen just because he found Nuan. Instead, he would fall back into the same situation he faced 10 years ago. Anyway, as long as his rival was miserable, Mu Changfeng was happy. His happiness is built on the misery of his archrival. Well, then I won't bother with him. Jiang Ruojuan figured out the reason for Ji Yu Chen's visit and stopped disturbing her son and daughter-in-law as they expressed their affection. She hoped her daughter-in-law would get pregnant soon, so she could hold her grandchild earlier. Whether it was a grandson or a granddaughter was fine, as she didn't favor boys over girls. As long as the grandchild was biologically theirs, that was all that mattered. The Mu family, on the whole, tends to have more yang energy and less yin energy. Jiang Ruojuan thought it would be quite nice if Yuqing's first child were a daughter. Did Ji Yu Chen figure out so quickly that Nuanuan is at your family's mountain villa? After Mu Changfeng ended the call with his mother, Yuqing said. Mu Changfeng put his phone back into his pocket, gently tapped Yuqing's cute nose, and corrected her wording. Honey, that's our home. My home is your home. Don't distinguish between yours and mine. Seeing the two children only focused on playing, he quickly pulled Yuqing into his arms, found her lips, and stole a sweet kiss. He didn't dare to kiss for too long, afraid that the two children would see. Yuqing pushed him away, looked at the two children, wiped her lips, and scolded him. The children are here, and you're still acting recklessly. Don't taint their pure hearts. Chapter 350. Didn't recognize her. I'm keeping an eye on them. If they come over, I'll let go of you right away. I won't let you lose face in front of our son and daughter. Mu Changfeng stole a kiss, feeling quite satisfied. He reached out and wrapped his arm around Yuqing's shoulder again, watching the children with her. Ji Yu Chen isn't foolish. As soon as he knows we're married, he'll quickly figure out that Bai Nuan and her son are at our place, in the entire Guangqing, which is my Mu family's territory. He hasn't managed to turn it upside down. A few years ago, Ji Yu Chen even sent people to keep an eye on the workers of my Da Mu group every day. Thinking that Bai Nuanuan would hide and work at my Da Mu group, Ji Yu Chen was monitoring Mu Changfeng's movements, and Mu Changfeng was well aware of his actions. I wonder how Bai Nuanuan will react when Ji Yu Chen suddenly shows up. We're not at home, so we'll miss the show, Yuqing said with some regret. She is not one who enjoys watching the drama, but she is very interested in the story of Bai Nuanuan and Ji Yu Chen. And she really wants to know if Bai Nuanuan will eventually soften her heart and forgive Ji Yu Chen. 10 years ago, Ji Yu Chen couldn't protect Bai Nuanuan. Today, a decade later, can he defy his parents' opposition and persist in rekindling their relationship with Bai Nuanuan? 10 long years have passed. How many decades are there in a person's life? That childhood sweetheart couple is actually quite pitiable. They clearly love each other deeply, yet they were forcibly separated. And Nuanuan was left utterly broken. The show has just begun. If you missed it this time, you can always catch it next time. Just wait, Ji Yu Chen will come begging to me. Mu Changfeng seemed to have the ability to foresee the future. Yuqing laughed. If President Ji Yu comes begging to you, you'll be so proud your tail will wag up to the sky. The enemy's surrender. The enemy's plea for help, just thinking about it feels so satisfying. Exactly. Haha, I'm just waiting for that day to come, honey. Don't worry, when Ji Yu Chen comes begging me, I'll let you know so you can come watch the show. I guarantee you'll be thoroughly entertained. Yuqing, as if she really enjoys watching the drama. Okay, she's really eager to hear the gossip about Ji Yu Chen and Bai Nuanuan right now. While the young couple was happily enjoying their time, Ji Yu Chen waited at the entrance of the Mu family villa for quite a while before finally seeing Uncle Chang slowly riding out on an electric scooter. The Mu family villa is quite large, and the distance from the entrance to the main house in the center is a bit far to walk, so Uncle Chang rode an electric scooter. It was only because the visitor was Ji Yu Chen that Uncle Chang came out at a leisurely pace, intentionally making Ji Yu Chen wait. Ji Yu Chen got out of the car. He walked to the gate of the villa. Uncle Chang parked the electric cart, came out through the small door, and walked up to Ji Yu Chen. After looking him up and down, he said, "So it really is young Master Ji Yu. What brings you here today? Who are you?" Uncle Chang introduced himself. "I am the chief steward of the estate, Uncle Chang." "Hello, Uncle Chang. I would like to meet your lady of the house. Is that possible?" Mu Changfeng is not at the estate at the moment. Ji Yu Chen would request to see Jiang Ruojuan, because Jiang Ruojuan is the matriarch of the Mu family in this generation, and she manages all the internal affairs of the Mu household. Nuan is a woman and has a child with her. If she were at the Mu family villa, she would definitely find a job. To find out where Nuan is, one must ask the lady of the Mu family, Master Gu, I'm very sorry, but our madam is not at the manor. If there's anything you need, you can tell me, and I will convey it to madam once she returns. Gu Chen paused for a moment before asking, Uncle Chang, may I ask if there is a single mother in the manor? She is raising a son on her own. And the boy is 9 years old. His name is Jiu Lai. Uncle Chang's eyes flickered, looking for Jiu Lai. As the chief steward of the Mu family manor, Uncle Chang had naturally heard about Jiu Chen and Bai Nuanuan. It was said that Bai Nuanuan was Jiu Chen's taboo, and no one was allowed to mention her in front of him. Everyone says Jiu Chen hates Bai Nuanuan to the extreme. Jiu Lai's surname is Jiu. Could he be Jiu Chen's son? Then, wouldn't Gu's mother be Jiu Chen's taboo? There are no single mothers in our villa, and we've never heard of a child named Jiu Lai. If you're looking for someone, please search elsewhere. Uncle Chang told a lie. Really not. Jiu Chen didn't believe it. Uncle Chang had just shown a hint of surprise. Although he quickly concealed it, Jiu Chen had caught it. The head butler of Mu Changfeng's household was definitely lying. Nuan and her son are right at the Mu family villa. Perhaps the Mu family didn't recognize Nuan. She's very skilled at makeup. But when he mentioned Jiu Lai, Uncle Chang's eyes flickered uneasily. Jiu Chen then guessed that the people at the Mu family villa were familiar with Jiu Lai. I said there isn't, so there isn't. If young Master Jiu doesn't believe me, there's nothing I can do. Uncle Chang simply refuses to admit that he lied, yet he was utterly shocked inside. The Jiu Lai they watched grow up is very likely Jiu Chen's son. But he might not necessarily be Jiu Chen's son. 10 years ago, when Bai Nuanuan was forced to leave Jiu Chen's side, wasn't it said that she slept in the same bed with one of her suitors? Young Master Jiu, please go back. Uncle Chang made a gesture of invitation to Jiu Chen. Jiu Chen looked at the Mu family villa, but aside from the ancient-style scenery, he couldn't see the central main house at all. I heard that the Mu family villa is very large and beautiful. It was built using the architectural style of Jiangnan Gardens, creating a residential area designed as a garden villa. All members of the Mu family have their own little haven within the Mu family villa. If the younger generation doesn't prefer living in the antique-style houses, they can build Western-style buildings or small villas themselves. However, the young masters and ladies of the Mu family have not built any Western-style buildings to disrupt the classical beauty of the villa. Those who prefer living in large villas usually buy them outside and reside there. They only return to the mountain villa during holidays to gather and spend time with the elders. Jiu Chen took a deep breath. Even if they knew Nuan was inside, the Mu family wouldn't let him into the villa, nor would they tell him that Nuan was there. He still has to proceed slowly and carefully. Sorry to bother you, Jiu Chen said apologetically. Under Uncle Chang's gaze, he turned and got back into his car. Then quickly drove down the mountain. On the way down the mountain, seeing so many houses at the foot, Jiu Chen guessed that those houses were for the workers. He wondered if Nuanuan might also be living in one of them, considering Nuan's specialties are makeup and skincare. If she were to work at the Mu family villa, she would definitely be serving the ladies of the Mu family. Jiu Chen did not go to inquire about Nuan's news. The car arrived at the foot of the mountain, and a middle-aged woman approached from the opposite direction. She appeared to be in her 30s, dressed plainly, with a lot of mud on her clothes. She was carrying a shovel on her shoulder, seemingly on her way to do something. Jiu Chen glanced at her somewhat plump face from the car, then turned his gaze back to the road ahead and continued driving. Little did he know that this middle-aged woman was Bai Nuan, after sending her son home. Bai Nuan remembered that she still had unfinished tasks and intended to return to the villa to continue her work. I didn't expect to run into Jiu Chen, who had just come down from the mountain. Jiu Chen didn't recognize her because she had deliberately gained weight, her figure expanding horizontally, no longer the beautiful woman he remembered from the depths of his memory. But Bai Nuan recognized Jiu Chen. She was startled, just as she was hesitating whether to run with the shovel. Jiu Chen had already driven past her in a whoosh. Thank you for watching. This is a full-length novel. If you'd like to see the continuation, please leave a comment below saying looking forward to more, or give the video a like. I'll update promptly based on your feedback. See you next time.